earlier this month. Police have arrested the child's grandparents, who are now facing charges of child neglect. The pair, aged 52 and 55, are expected to appear in court today. Malemma reports.
A week ago, the child's grandmother told EWN that she was taken while sleeping next to her on the 2nd of May. For the first time, Ompile's mother, Nompumelelo Sithole, has told us she believes the grandparents know more than they are letting on. She says she was disturbed when the child's father refused to give a statement to police after they were advised to open a negligence case against the grandparents. Sithole says all she wants is for a child to return home safely, adding that she left the home where Ompile was last seen due to concerns for her own safety.
They know something, be it maybe they were not there that night, they left Mwana Aliwane, and now they're trying to cover up for each other, or they did something.
Sithole has also disputed claims made by Ompile's father in a television interview that he did not know why she left or where she was going. Eyewitness News.
And a cruise ship that sparked global alarm after a deadly outbreak of hantavirus will end its journey in Rotterdam today. The MV Hondias is expected to dock in the Dutch port this morning before disembarking the 27 remaining people on board, including 25 crew and 2 medical staff. The ship, operated by Dutch company Oceanwide Expedition, made headlines after 3 passengers died from the rare virus, which has no vaccine or specific treatments. The World Health Organization has reassured the world that the outbreak is not a repeat of the COVID-19 pandemic. Gold's trading at $4,515.07 an ounce. The rand is at 16.76 to the dollar, 22.25 to the pound, 19.41 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $111.05 a barrel.
In the traffic, look out for 40 traffic lights in Randburg at the N1 South in Malibongwe, in 4 ways at Winnie Mandela and Monte Casino, as well as in the capital city in Centurion at Old Johannesburg and Brakfontein.
And in your sport, a good first leg for Sundown to beat AS FAR 1-0 in the CAF Champions League final. West Ham's relegation fears fast becoming a reality after 3-1 loss to Newcastle. England's Aaron Rai wins the PGA Championship by 3 shots after a final round 65. And Yannick Sinner wins the Italian Open, the youngest to win all Masters 1000 titles.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng this Monday. Johannesburg starting at 8 degrees, peaking at 20. Pretoria 9 and 20. Vereeniging 7 and 20 degrees as well. The top story in EWN this hour: controversial political fixer Bran Mogotsi is due to appear in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court today for allegedly staging his own assassination attempt.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
It's 7 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's the start of a brand new week. It's Monday, the 18th of May, the year of our Lord, 2026. Possibly the only thing about having a cold, a persistent cold that won't go away is the morning voice, which I'm enjoying right now. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. We've got quite a lineup for you. We start with the crisis facing the South African Bureau of Standards, governance and financial woes mounting. The DA has a spokesperson on trade, industry and competition, and they're saying this has been a long time coming. Action should have been taken sooner. We'll find out what's at stake and how crucial this entity is to how the economy functions. And we'll stick with that kind of theme. Our big interview this morning is with the chairperson of the board of the Airports Company South Africa. If you're a frequent flyer, if you're a frequent traveler, I want to know, what is your experience of our airports? Generally, are they good? Are you satisfied with the service and how things function? Reasonably speaking, I am. Last week, though, I did have my bag not pilfered because they broke, when you put it in and you do your combos, they broke that seal. One zip was open, but nothing inside was taken. That's about the worst I've endured in a while. How do you find our airports? The Joburg Coffee Festival The director and co-founder, Jason Zeman, will tell us about that just before 9.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
As always, of course, I am not alone. There's an entire team behind the scenes helping put the show together. And we've got producers, Rofiwa and Tsigelelo behind the scenes. Garabo's doing all our social media posting. KG starting the clock. And a very good morning to you, Rory White, here for business.
Good morning, Bongs. My bag was also broken into. They broke the lock. They smashed it.
Did anything get stolen?
Funny enough, there was nothing inside. I had plugs and stuff. I was doing a video shoot, so they took nothing. Zero.
Nothing
still
of value. And where were you flying from?
Cape Town to Joburg.
Yeah, exact same story.
Same flight.
Yeah, I was flying from. So I flew down, and the airline I flew down with insists I can only take 2 bags. So I had my regular work bag with my laptop, and I had a little suitcase. You know, those small ones for, overnight clothes and toiletries and so on. And I had my suit in a suit cover bag.
Okay.
Which can't fit into either, right? My suit cover is not going to fit into my laptop bag, nor is it going to fit into my small suitcase.
Yeah.
And they insisted it was now a 3rd bag.
Oh, come on.
So on my way back, I thought, you know what? Just comply.
Sure.
Check the small suitcase in. And when we landed, it had been opened.
But nothing was taken.
Nothing was missing. It was only my soiled clothes from the day before. So, nothing worth taking, essentially. But it was a bit of a worry. How's your experience flying with our airports? And a very good morning to you, Khumuza Munyai.
Good morning, Barry White. How are you doing?
Well,
he's my brother.
His voice. Goodness me, Sfiso Zulu leading with this controversial political fixer, Brown Mokhotsi. I don't know if you watched the Madlanga Commission on Friday. Brown Mokhotsi, of course, still insisting that he wouldn't answer any questions, saying that he didn't want to do so because he would incriminate himself. We know, of course, that as soon as he was out of the commission, an hour or 2 later, he had been arrested. The judge, of course, Judge Madlanga, who chairs the commission, directly challenging Mokhotsi's legal counsel on whether or not Mokhotsi could still be regarded as a credible witness. This was in light of earlier testimony suggesting that Mokhotsi had given false evidence in order to delay another witness's testimony.
Do you agree with me? I think you must. You must.
Chair, in response to the question, firstly, I'll respond by saying it's improper.
Do you agree with the proposition I've put to you? I'm not asking that's not the question. The impropriety, if I am correct, is obvious, so that's not where I am. Do you agree with the proposition I put to you?
Can Chair repeat the proposition again?
I say, based on what the witness is saying here, we are dealing with a witness who will say or do anything, regardless of its truthfulness or lack of it, depending on what he wants under the circumstances. That's the sort of witness we are dealing with, based on what we read here. Do you agree? You must.
Chair, may I answer it in twofold, Chair? Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Right? His lawyers were woeful on Friday. I tried studying law, and time and other commitments got in the way, but goodness me, I'm no lawyer, but his lawyers, Mokhotsi's lawyers, were woeful on Friday. It continued. Have a listen to this moment where, again, Judge Madlanga telling Mokhotsi that this idea that he won't say anything because he's afraid of incriminating himself just won't hold.
I should just draw it to your attention that there's section, I think it's section 6 of the Commissions Act, and there's also, is it regulation 8.1, if I'm not mistaken, but there's also provision in the regulations. Both create an offense if a witness that has been sworn in fails to answer fully and satisfactorily any question lawfully put to them. So for you to simply say this incriminates you, you don't explain how, you don't explain what the crime is, we are completely in the dark. It may well be that we may have to consider this. I am not saying that you are not entitled to raise what you are raising. It may well be that there is a basis for substantiating it, and for exculpating yourself from the possible applicability of Section 6 and the relevant regulation. But I think it only fair that I should draw your attention to the provisions of these statutory prescripts.
We know the law, Guy. You can't just throw any flimsy excuse at us and think that by not answering the questions, you can come up with what you think is a clever answer of not incriminating yourself. We know the law. And despite that warning, Mohotsi said this.
So are you still insisting that that's
my posture, Chair. That's my posture. I've gone through those rules, and as a layman, I may not have full comprehension as to how they work. Perhaps my legal team will talk to that, but I'm not going to incriminate myself.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
14 minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to the show if you've just joined us. Our mission, as always, of course, is to tell you what's going on in the world, why it matters, and how it will impact you. You remain our eyes and ears wherever you are. We want you always to be part of our informed community. Our shout out this morning is very simply this. How do you vouch for a brand or a product? How do you know it is any good? Either you've used it and you would highly recommend it, but what is that magic factor? What's that one thing that gives you certainty that recommending this product is the hill you will die on? How do you know whether a product or brand is any good? Khumutso?
For me, it has to be, one, its popularity, so depending on the number of people that use it. And two, its reviews. I'm very big on that. So if I'm on TikTok and I'm viewing a product, the first thing I go to are responses. And if people are saying yay, then I'll trust it. If they're saying nay, then I'm likely not to.
All right, social media and reviews. Ray White?
You see, I don't go with that because very often I'll look at a product and it's reviewed and it's some expert who doesn't like some technical aspect of it. So I'd rather ask a Bongs, a KG or a Khomotso, how have you found it? Then I'll go with it. But online, not so much.
So you agree it's just a case of where
yeah,
you hear that review, right?
Yeah.
But most of you, it's word for you both, actually. It's word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
All right. How do you know whether or not to trust a brand? On what basis would you vouch for a product and even recommend it to others? We'll explain why we're asking that question coming up.
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
Ray White, you've got a question of your own?
Did you have sandwich envy at school?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
What did the other kids get for lunch?
So let me tell you, I used to go to a school that had a boarding house, a boarding facility.
Yeah.
And my mother had signed me up for what they called hot lunch. So I could have the lunch that the boarders would have. And I'm coming as this not quite rural boy, but certainly Jim comes to Joburg from the Eastern Cape, right? And I'd never seen a hot dog before.
What?
I'd never seen a hamburger
Really?
before. Yeah, I hadn't. And during first break, this is what they sold at the tuck shop. But my mother's thinking was, but hang on, I've signed you up for the hot lunch. You get breakfast at home before you leave. By 12:30, which is when the hot lunch is, you have lunch, and obviously the rest you'll eat when you come back home.
Yeah.
So she didn't understand this nonsense about money for first break. And so I would watch the other kids.
Oh,
These things that I'd never seen before.
Hungry bongs.
Hamburgers and hot dogs.
Not hungry bomb.
Hungry bongs.
I was a starving African child.
You poor child.
I've made up for it though, haven't I?
Both of us.
7:02.
Weather.
17 minutes after 6 o'clock, this weather report brought to you by Subaru. Rain on the road, gravel under the wheels. However, today's weather changes. Subaru keeps you moving. What can you expect for Gauteng weather today? Partly cloudy day in store. Joburg starting at 8 degrees, peaking at 20. That's the same really for Pretoria and Vereeniging, both maxing at 20 degrees. Mbombela is 24. Your peak in Mahikeng is 22. It's 23 in Bloemfontein. Durban fine today, maxing at 26 degrees. Gqeberha 21, East London 22.
Some mornings, the world feels uncertain. The sky turns, the road changes. And then there's that feeling. The quiet grip of the road beneath you, the calm in every turn. It's not just how it drives, it's how it takes care of you and the people you love. And somewhere between the first drop of rain and the road ahead, you realize you've fallen in love. Subaru carries you through life's weather. Fall in love with Subaru's all-weather confidence. Book a test drive on subaru.co.za.
EWN Traffic.
18 after 6, let's have a first look at the roads. Khumutso Munyai, what are you seeing?
Thank you, Bongs. If you are in Germiston, traffic is starting to build up on the N3 North from Rand Airport Interchange towards the Gelden Haze. Over in Boysens, the M1 North is also starting to experience slow-moving traffic. And further up, there has been an accident on the M1 South. This is in the opposite direction as you approach the Greyston Drive. Also look out for 40 traffic lights and amalgam on Main Reef and Press Street, in Edenvale at the N3 and Moederfontein, as well as on four ways at Winnie Mandela and Monte Casino. I'll have more updates in just a bit.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Part of the 702 family.
Hi, it's Michelle from Krugersdorp. I can absolutely say that my entire life has been consumed by news from the time that I was 4 years old and watched Rian Vouching, and still to today I listen to the news, and it's because it's made me a well-rounded person and understanding what's going on in the world. And I thank the 702 family for that.
Welcome to our 702 family. Let's walk the talk.
Outsurance business insurance, the cost was far less. I even have better benefits.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you get 24/7 access to panic assistance, roadside assistance, and even office assistance for guest houses, catering companies, and all other businesses. Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance business insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurance FSP. TCs and information online. Apply. Tax deadlines don't have to result in penalties. With the 31 May employer submission deadline approaching, avoid lastminute.com. Submit your accurate employer reconciliation declaration, EMP 501, on time using EasyFile or e-filing. Employers, make your tax matters your priority number one. Submit by 31 May 2026. Go to sars.gov.za. SARS. At your service.
Gabelo's the go-to guy for renovations. His bakkie is full of tools, ready to build dreams. But one day, a reckless driver takes him out. Now, his backie's standing still. No wheels, no money, Gabza. Oh. But with budget, he'd be back on site faster than you can say DIY. Don't let expensive days stop your hustle. Visit budgetinsurance.co.za for a business insurance quote today. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Not every change feels like a choice. Some arrive as disruption. Shift Happens with Richard Sutton is a podcast about those moments where life moves first and you have to catch up. When certainty disappears, direction blurs, and everything familiar starts to shift. You'll hear stories from people who faced change, doubt, and pressure and found a way forward. Their stories give us confidence. Living vicariously through their experience gives us hope, and we learn from their journeys. Because what feels like an ending is often the beginning of something else. Shift Happens weekly on PrimeMediaPlus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Powered by First Light, therapeutics for the modern mind.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the
Bongani
talk.
in the team. As Bradley in Randburg. Bongani, I can vouch on the brand based on the experience that I've ever done. Since it was me, I only drive one brand of the car, which people used to say, oh, this car, they've got problems of overheating and all the stuff, you know. But I've never experienced such thing, and it's good. It's good. So I'll say rather experience it yourself, you know, because if you have to go through other person, you might find that the choice of that person is not the same choice as yours, you know, and you'll end up being on the wrong side of it. Thanks, Nasho, as always.
We're asking a very simple question this morning. How do you know to vouch for a brand or a product? And I think you're raising a very important point there, that because somebody else likes it doesn't necessarily mean you will. But also, are you that person who, once you've identified a product or a brand, you stick with it and you're not open to trying out new things? We'll tell you why we're asking coming up.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
It's 23 minutes after 6 o'clock. Things you need to know at this hour. The World Health Organization has declared an Ebola outbreak in the DRC, and they're saying it's a matter of global concern. They've declared that Ebola outbreak in the DRC as a public health emergency of international concern. This is a real thing, right? A PHEIEC. This is a public health emergency of international concern. It signals a serious escalation in global alert levels over the spread of the deadly virus. And the difficulty with it is that there is no cure nor vaccine for this virus. They've cited around 246 cases, and 80 people have already died. So roughly about a third of those who have contracted it die. And there's no cure for this particular strain of the deadly virus. So that is something that is of concern. Today is International Museum Day. International Museum Day, celebrated every May 18th, was established by the International Council of Museums in 1977. This was to highlight the important role museums play in preserving history, culture, and heritage for future generations. When last did you visit a museum? And what memory or experience from that visit has stayed with you ever since? I would love to go to the British Library in the UK. That's certainly something I would like to see and visit. When last were you at a museum? Guess who was born on this day in 1912 in Engcobo in the Eastern Cape? A key architect of the liberation movement, Walter Sisulu, who joined the ANC in 1940 and of course went on to help found the ANC Youth League in 1944 alongside Nelson Mandela and Oliver Tambo. And they really shaped the history of the struggle, did they not? He spent 26 years on Robben Island, where his leadership and quiet strength left a lasting mark on South Africa's struggle for democracy. In 2001, a book was published, William Stich. The book was first released, of course. The book wasn't published in 2001. The movies based on the book were released in 2001. And of course, what am I talking about? Shrek. Right?
What you doing in my swamp, laddie? There we go.
You being an ogre. It's a beloved animated film released on this day in 2001. And of course, it introduced the swamp-dwelling hero voiced by Mike Myers alongside Eddie Murphy's unforgettable donkey. And the former Northwest Premier Bushi Mape has died at the age of 68.
702.
The newspapers.
Sfisa Zulu, what's grabbing your attention in the newspapers? Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani. It's a fight between the tech bros in the US. This is Elon Musk and Sam Altman, the owner of OpenAI.
Yes.
So deliberations will start today in court. They are in trial involving Elon Musk against AI giant OpenAI and Sam Altman. OpenAI is basically the company behind ChatGPT, right? So Musk is accusing Altman of abandoning the company's founding mission, which was to be a non-profit organization. He's arguing that OpenAI's pivot to a profit-driven business betrayed its original mandate. And he claims that the founders of OpenAI improperly used donation or money that was donated to them. And this money was intended to sustain OpenAI as a research lab devoted to developing AI for the benefit of humanity. So now, what's his name? Elon Musk says this company, which has now amassed $850 billion, should go back to being an NPO. So I guess he just wants to be the only tech bro with money.
Oh, he's doing it all for the benefit of humanity. What a gracious soul he is. The front page of the Sowetan, this is a story that EWN has been running for a while now, the filth of Mfuleni. And they're showing a random street where the refuse keeps piling up and it's rotting waste as collection failures persist in the area. And of course, Downs, one match from Africa Champs crown. This is Mamelodi Sundowns. Let's not even talk about Saturday. Thank you very much. The Citizen, SA's deadly need for speed. Known for their delinquent behavior on the roads, there's a new scourge contributing to the fatal data: social media and the hunt for likes of viral videos. And the front page of the Business Day, SA left exposed by SANDF cash crisis.
EWN Business.
28 after 6 business news now. Ray White, you want to know about sandwich envy at school? What were the other kids getting for lunch? I'm curious to know what kids get for lunch today and how extravagant some lunches are. There's things I would have loved growing up and that I tried to prepare for my kids and they would have none of it.
Really?
They weren't interested in the things that I thought were fancy
Yeah?
from my childhood. I try to make, and I used to think I make the best lunches. My kids were not interested.
Gosh.
So I'd be curious about what people are putting in their kids' lunches today. What prompts the question?
Well, schools in the United States are cutting back due to soaring diesel prices since the onset of the Iran war. They're draining already tight U.S. school district budgets, make it more expensive to buy or to bus students and run generators and to feed them. U.S. schools also have these feeding schemes, you see, where pupils are able to have lunch, but budgets are now tight due to the high costs of diesel. School districts from Washington to Waco, Texas are tapping emergency funding reserves to keep school operations running. In remote Alaska, officials are scrambling to secure enough fuel to keep the lights on. Now, this is also impacting on various aspects of the schooling system in the U.S. While there are no plans to cut feeding schemes yet at schools, budgets are tight, they say. Since December, the diesel prices jumped 67%, an increase that would add about $1.8 billion to the annual cost of operating schools.
Gosh, and how the markets in the rand?
Asian share markets are under pressure this morning as fresh drone attacks in the Gulf saw oil prices and bond yields increase. The Hang Seng down 1.63%, the Nikkei losing 0.92%. Now, a drone strike caused a fire at a nuclear power plant in the United Arab Emirates, while Saudi Arabia reported intercepting 3 drones, as U.S. President Donald Trump warned that Iran must act fast to reach a deal. Looking at that oil price, it's now $111.13, so it's gone up. The rand to the dollar, 16.72, also increasing 22.28 to the pound, 19.44. That's the euro. Platinum, $1,972.28. Gold is $4,542.20. I'll have more business news for you in an hour.
6:30, your time checks. Fiso Zulu, keeping the lights on at school is going to be a priority. Good morning.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. Gauteng Education MEC Lebogang Maile has revealed that schools in the province owe Eskom more than 6 million rand. Maile briefed media yesterday after the High Court in Pretoria ordered the city of Tshwane to restore electricity to schools disconnected for unpaid property rates. The MEC says some schools were hit with higher charges after estimated bills were replaced with actual meter readings. Maile says the debt is linked to the decentralization system introduced for Section 21 schools. Now, under the system, schools and governing bodies are responsible for paying municipal services using the money that was allocated by the department.
Education services are not a privilege that is extended on the basis of financial ability. Education is a constitutionally enshrined right that is extended to all children in our country, regardless of their social, economic background or their geography.
The investigating Directorate Against Corruption is urging the public to be vigilant against claims that a warrant of arrest has been issued for KwaZulu-Natal police boss Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. The allegation sparked inquiries to the Directorate, which has dismissed the claims as false and misleading. IDEC says the misinformation campaign is aimed at destabilizing and discrediting law enforcement agencies in the country. IDEC spokesperson Henry Mamutame.
The Investigating Directorate Against Corruption notes with concern the rumors and inquiries that it has a J50 warrant of arrest for Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. We wish to state it clearly that this information is false and we dismiss it with the contempt it deserves.
The Western Cape has been rocked by another deadly weekend, with police investigating 2 mass shootings. Officers are assisting or calling for the public to assist as they hunt for those behind attacks in Westbank and Franschhoek in the Cape Winelands. A 7-year-old child was wounded in one of the shootings. Koskona Malinga Nisi reports.
The first attack took place in Westbank, Mfuleni, on Saturday night, where police say 3 women and 1 man were shot and killed. The injured child was rushed to a medical facility facility for treatment. Western Cape Police believe that the shooting may be gang-related. In a second incident in Franschhoek yesterday, 2 armed men allegedly stormed a house in Jacaranda Street and opened fire. 3 men were declared dead at the scene, while a woman and another man were wounded. Western Cape Police spokesperson Novela Potela.
Provincial Serious Violent Crime detectives have launched a manhunt for 2 gunmen believed to be behind a shooting incident that left 3 men dead, a woman and another man wounded on Sunday morning in Franschhoek.
Or see Kona Malingamnisi Eyewitness News.
And the World Health Organization says it's maintaining its assessments of the hantavirus outbreak as low risk. A cruise ship where the outbreak originated is expected to end its journey in the Netherlands today. The WHO says the public health risk has been reassessed with the most current information available and the global risk remaining low. The organization says while additional cases may still occur among passengers and crew members, containment measures have been implemented. The ship, operated by Dutch company Oceanwide Expeditions, made headlines after 3 passengers died from hantavirus, a rare virus for which no vaccines or specific treatments exist. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 7 and 9 degrees, peaking at highs of 20 degrees.
Traffic in Germiston, there's slow-moving traffic on the N3 North from Rand Airport Interchange towards Geldenhuys. And in Bedford View, expect delays on the N3 North from the Kilulis Interchange to Moerfontein Road.
The top story this hour, Gauteng Education MEC Lebogang Maile has revealed that schools in the province owe Eskom more than 6 million rand.
Weekend Breakfast with Googs Shungo.
702 Weekend Breakfast is a delicious, fascinating mix of things for the weekend. We cover fitness, personal finance, motoring, food, sustainability. We talk music, we talk books. We tell you what's hot and happening in and around 702 land. And then we bring in really interesting people to inspire you in the profile every Sunday. So the kind of listener that listens to 702 Weekend Breakfast is a fascinating individual. Yes, it's the weekend and they're relaxing and they're looking for interesting things to do, new things to learn. They've got their finger on the pulse on what's hot and happening, but they want to stay informed, so they engage in all of our conversations. They're also a curious listener, so when we tell them to try something out, to try something new, they're happy to go and try it because they trust us.
702 Weekend Breakfast with Googs Mshungo from 6 to 10 a.m.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9. We're featuring R&B, and the head of corporate client coverage, Nana Piri, will be in conversation with us. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
That's Amanda, before she got naked. When the power tripped, Amanda felt more helpless than when her mom-in-law called her lasagna different. So Amanda got naked. She got car and home insurance at a lower premium and can now call an electrician anytime via the Naked app. There we go. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
I like building things.
Where small hands start imagining bigger worlds. Each block a new chance to try again.
We share what we learn, giving teachers the tools to help more children build, think, and grow. And through our toy libraries, play reaches children everywhere, opening more doors to learn.
We are play experts, helping children build possibilities as strong as the worlds they imagine.
One day I'll build something big.
Cortland's Play Engineered. Help us build brighter futures. Donate today at cortlands.org.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? It's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. You send us an answer based on something that piqued your interest during the show, and for that you win $1,000. Simply WhatsApp us your name and that answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer to win 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Top of the morning, Bonks and the team, 702 Land, Bonks, vouching for the product, research. But most importantly, I like to sample these products by visiting these small portable promotional desks or counters or booth, whatever you want to call it. Just to get the feel myself by sampling these products. That's what I most importantly do. Sampling the products myself. Either be it the retail outlets, supermarkets. I always do that. Joel from Kempton Park, have a splendid Monday.
A good brand is determined by whether or not it's in the retail chain and whether or not it's expensive relatively to the other products.
We're asking you a very simple question. How do you know a product or a brand is really, really good? How do you get to the point where you will even vouch for it for somebody else to use? Some of the answers we've got: word of mouth, online reviews, activations, I think is what Joel from Kempton Park is suggesting there, and even price. Cindy Paluta has just stepped into the studio. Cindy, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody.
How do you know a product is really, really good?
I Google review it.
Reviews as well, online reviews.
Online reviews. I think online reviews are very important. And then I'll know it's good straight away by just the quality of it. Like you could see quality products, and I'll always I like to give everything. No. Packaging will
that can deceive you.
Yeah. But I'll always like to give something a chance.
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance, but if it's not good, no. And then I will Google review you and tell you it's not good.
And tell me, are you one of those who sticks with a particular brand once you've found something you like? If it's hot sauce, for example, or I don't know, shampoo.
Yes.
You found the brand that you like and it works for you and you stick with it.
Why change if it works?
Oh, Bongani. What did I tell you on Friday? I said, Buccaneers, make sure that you win. Draw is not good enough. So I'm wondering, I've got this question to ask you now, Bongani. How do you put that cork back into that champagne bottle? Or do you leave it open and it's going to be flat by the time you play next Saturday? Aye. Oh, Buccaneers. From Rustenburg.
EWN Sport.
Listen, Sundowns are not only edging closer to CAF glory, they're also, of course, facing the prospect of, this could be their league once more. They're just winning all around.
I mean, let's just answer that voice note. I mean, if you missed it on the weekend, Orlando Pirates, probably the first full 90 minutes I've ever watched them play, because I just wanted to see what it would be like.
Are they going to score? Are they
going to win? And now they have to beat Orbit College this weekend. I think it's in Mbombela they're playing. And they have to win, and Orbit College have to win to avoid relegation.
Yeah, no, it's...
KG from the corner.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really tough battle.
Yeah.
Do I think they are still going to do it? Yes, I do.
Listen, Sundowns are looking pretty anyway.
Well, Sundowns, they beat ASFAR 1-0 last night in the first leg of the CAF Champions League final, but it wasn't really convincing. I don't think their fans were absolutely convinced, because now they have to hit the road and play the return leg in Rabat on Sunday, and the fans aren't feeling too happy. But anyway, Aubrey Modibo with the goal in the first half. Sundowns coach Miguel Cardozo.
I think we have to grab the wonderful game we did. Two fantastic teams with a lot of quality inside the pit. Very tricky match to play. This team is very powerful on the way they counter-attack. I think we controlled it very well. Of course, we could have given a step a little bit more in the front. It will be a very tough match over there in Rabat. We have to take the energy from what we did, because we proved ourselves.
West Ham's Premier League relegation fears fast becoming reality after a 3-1 loss to Newcastle. Asula scored 2 for Newcastle. Hammers stay 2 points behind Spurs, who play Chelsea tomorrow. Manchester United beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 through Shaw, Mbuemo and Cunha. Bruno Fernandes with another assist to equal Henry and De Bruyne's record of 20 assists in one season.
No, obviously it feels great. I wanted to push myself to be level with the best and trying to overtake them also. It's a privilege and an honor for me to be in such elite company. Two players that are probably two of the best players in the last decade and two of the Premier League, and it's a huge honor for me.
Sunderland came from behind to win at Everton 3-1. Leeds beat Brighton 1-0. Wolves and Fulham finished 1-1. In golf, Aaron Rise, the first Englishman in 107 years to win the PGA Championship, a final round 65, including a 69-foot putt to the 17th, saw him finish on 9 under, 3 ahead of John Ram and Alex Smalley. McIlroy finished 5 off the pace, Scheffler 7 off the pace. United Rugby Championship quarter-final fixtures confirmed. Stormers and Bulls host Cardiff and Munster next weekend. The Lions will travel to Leinster. In tennis, Jannik Sinner won the Italian Open with a 6-4, 6-4 win over Casper Ruud. It's Sinner's record 6th consecutive Masters 1000 win, the youngest to complete the Golden Masters by winning all of ATP's top-ranked events. And 2 red flags in the Catalonia MotoGP won by De Antonio, who moves to 3rd in the overall standings. Alex Marquez, who was 2nd, crashed into the back of Acosta. Zarco crashed out on the 2nd restart. Alex has a fractured neck and broken collarbone. Zarco has fractured his knee. While Brad Binder, who had problems with his clutch at the start, had to start from the pit and finished in 7th. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
There's a song that goes, "Money can't buy me love." And that's true. But then they told us all you need is love, which anybody with a mortgage will tell you most certainly is not true. Love won't pay your parking tickets or your student loan. It's also needy. It requires effort, availability, constant care. But more importantly, love requires time. And while money can't buy you love, it can certainly free up some of your time. Time to spend on the things you love, with the people you love. And if you're looking, maybe even time to find the one you love. That's why, after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do the things you love. And don't you love that about investing? Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
We asked rugby legend Francois Steyn what he thinks of the all-new Toyota BZ4X. France, would you say the BZ4X is a rugged all-wheel drive SUV?
Yeah.
Cool. Was the acceleration and handling good?
Yeah.
All right. So you think the BZ4X can handle South Africa?
Well,
there you have it. The all-new Toyota BZ4X, an all-wheel drive battery electric SUV made to handle South Africa. The BZ4X. It just got real.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, my name is Levy. I'm 10 years old. I go to Krakow Primary School. When I grow up, I would like to be an author. I can't wait to play the Whiz Quiz with Malume Bongani.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
6:45, this EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 451442 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Khumuzu, you were telling us about the N3 North in Ekurhuleni.
You did
What's going
not
on
say
there?
that. Tree, I'm going to come for you. Oh,
N3.
I'm never going to forget this. If you're in Germiston, brace yourself for those rush hour delays on the N3 North from Rand Airport Interchange towards Geldenes with over a 20-minute delay. And further up, you can also expect delays on the N3 North. This is from the Kalulis Interchange to Modderfontein Road. Over in Centurion, traffic is sluggish on the N1 South from the Brakfontein Interchange to New Road. And also look out for faulty traffic lights in the capital city.
Quick question.
Yeah?
When is Amo coming back again?
You know what? I'll have more updates for you. The best updates at the top of the hour. Hey, G!
Online and on the EWN app.
Things people stress about in traffic. Number 51. Did I use too many emojis in that text? Did I sound too eager? Oh, the mental gymnastics. Well, with the Outsurance pointsman on your route, at least the traffic is one less where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Each year, between 800 and 1,000 children in South Africa are diagnosed with cancer, leukemia being one of the most common. And for many, a stem cell donor is a possible cure. At DKMS Africa, we help finding matching stem cell donors for patients with blood disorders and cancers. So, this World Blood Cancer Month, register at dkmsafrica.org and help a patient find their match.
Hi South Africa, I'm Michael Owen. If you appreciate world-class sport and a great occasion, the Hollywood Bets Durban July is the place to be. The theme for 2026 is Country Allure, which sees the rustic style of the countryside meet the cosmopolitan cool of the city. On Saturday the 4th of July, it all comes together at Hollywood Bets Greyville, Africa's greatest horse racing and social event. I'll see you there.
It's another girl!
Whew. Families multiply, fees shouldn't. With Ultimate Banking, you get support for every chapter. Get discounted banking for your spouse and give each of your children a head start with a Mega U account. Because as your family grows, your banking should keep up. Apply online. Your story matters. ABSA. Terms and conditions apply. ABSA is an authorized financial services provider.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Wow, Bongani. Hearing about the possibility of schools cutting lunches in America, it makes me think about how when we moved to America in the 80s, both my parents were students. There was both completing their postgrads. There were full-time students and working part-time to make ends meet. We were beneficiaries of those school lunches, and quite a few people that I knew that we were in school with. It would be quite sad to lose those because for us, it was a stopgap. For meals. I mean, we weren't starving, but if you can imagine 3 kids and 2 grown parents, living on student-funded income. Yeah, it's quite sad.
Yeah, indeed. And if a country like America struggles with that sort of issue, who are we not to face similar difficulties?
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, a conversation about the SABS, the Bureau of Standards. But in the meantime, Livy is our contestant today, 10 years old. Got 9 out of 10 in the test round, Livy. So you must be feeling confident.
Yes, Uncle Bongani.
Yes, you must feel confident. Anybody you want to say hello to on the radio?
My friend Kamo.
Your friend Kamo. Oh, okay. I hope Kamo is listening. Listen, good luck to you. Here we go. KG, start the clock. Which word means hate? Is it adore or is it detest?
Detest.
Correct. What is the name of the bony part of your head which protects your brain?
The skull.
Correct. True or false? The Northwest Province is a landlocked province.
False.
It's true. Complete the saying. Birds of a feather flock what?
Together.
Correct. Who is Shrek's wife in animation?
False.
Fiona. What is 15 plus 45?
60.
Correct. What is the capital of Limpopo?
False.
Polokwane. True or false? The cheetah is the fastest land animal.
True.
Correct. What does the white dove symbolize? Peace or love?
Peace.
Correct. Spell the word buffalo.
False.
Well, that's the last question. Want to give it a go? And time has run out. Buffalo is what we were looking for there. Not a bad round, Livy. Not quite as good as your pre-test one. You walk away with 600 Rand, though. That's a tidy sum at 10 years old. I would have taken it. No lunch envy for you, hey?
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
So we've been asking you a question all morning. How do you know something is really, really good? What makes you vouch for a product? People have said word of mouth, online reviews, activations. But in South Africa, it used to be the SABS stamp of approval. The South African Bureau of Standards was who told you any product on a retailer's shop was trustworthy. Without that seal, you really could not be sure. But the SABS has been going through its own quality testing, and I would say it's been found wanting and floundering on governance, leadership, and financial management. 8 years after being placed under administration for poor performance and letting unsafe products slip through, the SABS remains without a permanent CEO, and it's been running on acting leadership since 2018. We're joined now by Toby Chance, who's a member of parliament and also the DA spokesperson of Trade, Industry and Competition. Toby, a very good morning to you and welcome to our program.
Thank you, Bongani. Good morning to you.
Look, as the Apex National Standardization Institute in South Africa, there's no understating the importance of the SABS.
Yes, exactly. It's core to our quality system in this country. And since 1945, when it was established by the Standards Act, it has become well known in South Africa as a mark of quality, trusted by all South Africans, but of late, that trust has eroded.
Just explain to me about their leadership issues. No permanent CEO for 8 years, as I said in my introduction, and now they're practically going to the private sector with a begging bowl.
Well, yes, excuse me. They have had very, very poor leadership for the last few years. There's been basically a revolving door of CEOs, acting COOs, and that has led to a considerable amount of unrest, labor unrest, performance problems, financial mismanagement. The end of 2024, there was a cyber attack which left all their systems completely shattered. They are beginning to recover, but financially they are dependent for about a third of their income on government grants. And they have a huge backlog in investment and maintenance in their labs. When the chair and the acting CEO came to the committee a couple of months ago, they indicated that their capex budget of the current financial year is 47 million rand, but their actual need is 2.1 billion. So there's a huge gap there.
Sure.
And I think what they're doing is they're looking at what options there are to restructure the organization and look for more sustainable sources of revenue.
I mean, their documents say that they're not financially sustainable. They're still expecting significant losses. You mentioned labs that are either not functioning or they're simply out of date. So what are the consequences if this is allowed to continue as it is?
Well, the consequence is a slow death, to be honest, Bongani, and that can't be allowed to happen. It's too important. Bear in mind, though, that there are lots of testing labs in this country. And in fact, international testing labs are also offering services in South Africa. So it's not like it's a monopoly. And in any competitive market, they have to perform. They have to be assessed according to what services are provided and their quality and their price. So they need to jack up their systems. They need to invest, and they need to secure alternative sources of income. Both investment income and operating income. And I think that that's why they've put out this tender for the consultation, which is not a bad thing. I think that they don't have the resources internally to work out how they can fix the organization. Then there's no problem going outside. The question is, are they going to come up with something which is sustainable to turn the organization around?
I hear you about the monopoly issue, but I mean, the SABS used to be a source of pride for South Africans, and I've got to ask you the question, how did we get here? Was it misgovernance? Was it corruption? What brought us here?
I think those two, certainly. I mean, they're not alone, of course. As you know, Bongani, we have had systematic erosion of our public institutions over many years through misgovernance, corruption, and just not having the right people in the job to do the job. So that has meant that the SABS has suffered from long-term decline. It means that we have to find the right people. We have to pay them good salaries, competitive salaries. We have to train people to come into the organization so that they can fill the considerable number of vacancies. And we have to run it as a professional organization, which is competing with others around the world. That's the only way to do it.
Look, Minister Pakstow, to be fair, has tried to intervene. That TSU international appointment. And in fact, I think it's next week that the SABS board is due to announce its findings.
Yes, although, to be fair, it was only after months of pressure from the DA. We were inundated with whistleblowers' communications pleading with us to do something about it. And eventually it was in February last year that Minister Tau implemented the TSU report. It's over a year now. And on the 29th of this month, the board is due to present the findings. I don't think it'll be totally transparent. I expect will be some redactions from the actual report. But the key thing is not just the report; it's the actions that they will be taking from the findings of the report, and that's going to require significant changes in management, changes in processes. There are lots of people who are on suspension at the moment that need to be, their performance need to be reviewed. The whole culture in the organisation has got to change. So, yeah, the committee will be looking eagerly forward to that meeting on the 29th.
Who must be held accountable, and what is it going to take to fix the SABS?
Well, they do have a new board under Professor Tiobeka. He's doing his best. He came to the committee in March and said that he inherited a broken organisation. The acting CEO, whose term expires at the end of June, said that the organisation was in ICU. They're moving it into high care, so they recognise the problems. But we now have a situation where his term will have to be extended. Probably there is an advert out for a new CEO. I don't know where the process has reached, but I would hope that within the next 2 to 3 months, a competent person will have been appointed, and they have to have, or whoever it is, will have to have the support of the board and the minister. So accountability ultimately is with the minister. He is the executive authority, and he has to keep an eye on the institution and make sure that its mandate is fulfilled.
Am I misreading it if I say, from a layperson's point of view, wouldn't there appear to be an inherent conflict of interest in asking the private sector for help? In other words, the very people whose products or brands you must, quality test, as it were, need to give you money.
I don't know that that's going to be the outcome of the investigation. I think it's perfectly fair to go out and get an independent organization to assess your business model. But it's really a matter of how to expand your services and how to acquire more customers. Ultimately, any organization is dependent upon how many customers it can acquire, and there's a lot of private sector work that's already going on. So it's a matter of competing effectively in the market, and to do that, they have to have modern systems, up-to-date equipment, and professional staff and management. So that's really what this investigation has got to do is to clear a path towards that end.
Toby, could we lose the SABS?
I don't think so. I don't think so, Bongani. I think it may be a re-engineered SABS. I think the SABS mark still has a lot of value. I think there's a lot of people in the organization that are very loyal to it. They're very capable people. It's staffed by extremely competent people in the main. And I think that we should do everything we can to preserve it. But the current model doesn't make sense, and it has to be reviewed. One thing I did mention in the Sunday Times article is that there needs also to be a reckoning with the national regulator for compulsory specifications. Because remember, the two organizations were effectively demerged in 2008, and there's an argument to be had for actually bringing them back together. I'm not going to prejudge that. But I think that the investigation needs to look at that as an option, because the two actually have to work very closely together to deliver a comprehensive service.
Appreciate your time. Toby Chance, Member of Parliament, spokesperson for the DA on Trade, Industry and Competition.
7:02.
Coming up, the big interview.
From one entity struggling to perhaps one that has been the good news story of state-owned enterprises, the airports company South Africa. The chairperson of the board joins us next.
This is EWN.
A mother feels betrayed by family as she searches for her missing child.
They know something. Maybe they were not there that night. They left Mwana Aliwane, and now they're trying to cover up for each other.
And Ramaphosa calls for greater efforts to contain the Ebola outbreak. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The grandparents of a missing 2-year-old child in Limpopo are expected to appear in court today. They were arrested over the weekend in connection with the disappearance of 2-year-old Umpiles Tole. The little girl was snatched while sleeping in her grandmother's house earlier this month. Her mother, Nompumelelo Sithole, says the grandparents are now facing charges of child neglect. Kosikona Malingamnisi reports.
A week ago, the child's grandmother told EWN that she was taken while sleeping next to her on the 2nd of May. For the first time, Ompile's mother, Nompumelelo Sithole, has told us she believes the grandparents know more than they are letting on. She says she was disturbed when the child's father refused to give a statement to police after they were advised to open a negligence case against the grandparents. Sithole says all she wants is for a child to return home safely, adding that she left the home where Ompilo was last seen due to concerns for her own safety.
They know something, be it maybe they were not there that night, they left Mwana Aliwane, and now they're trying to cover up for each other, or they did something.
Sithole has also disputed claims made by Ompila's father in a television interview that he did not know why she left or where she was going. Kosikona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
Former police sniper Matipandile Soteni is returning to the Brakpan Magistrates Court this morning for a bail application. Soteni has been behind bars for more than 2 months in connection with the murder of Marius van der Merwe, a witness at the Madlanga Commission. It's alleged that Soteni was the gunman who shot van der Merwe outside his home in Brakpan in December. Alfara Mushwana reports.
The case of witness D's alleged murderer Matipandile Soteni has faced a number of delays, mostly due to his dispute with his legal team. Soteni has had to change lawyers after claiming that his previous attorney was taking instructions from someone other than him. Having now spent more than 2 months behind bars, Soteni previously expressed frustration in court, saying he never planned to be away from his family.
Are you okay, Mr. Soteni?
No, I'm not okay. I must take my children to school. I've got a lot to do.
How many children do you have?
I've got 3 kids.
Soteni is now being represented by advocate Ntabiseng Mahumane, the same lawyer who represented political fixer Brown Mukhotsi at the Madlanga Commission last week. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, Brown Mukhotsi is due to appear in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court today for allegedly staging his own assassination attempt. Mukhotsi was arrested on Friday shortly after testifying at the Madlanga Commission. He's charged with defeating the ends of justice. Tabiso Goba reports.
On the morning of the 3rd of November, police were called to Vosloorus to respond to an assassination attempt on Brown Mukhotsi. When police got there, they found a bullet-ridden red Chevrolet, which was allegedly being driven by Mukhotsi during the supposed attack. However, the car was not roadworthy, with no licensed disc and worn-out tires. After giving the police the runaround, Mukhotsi eventually gave his statement on the attack. However, 6 months later, police are now accusing Mukhotsi of staging the attempted hit and have arrested him for defeating the ends of justice. After spending the entire weekend behind bars, Mukhotsi's lawyers have indicated they will be seeking an expedited bail process. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
And President Cyril Ramaphosa has called on African Union member states and international partners to strengthen support for pandemic prevention. This is in the wake of the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. According to the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, a total of 88 deaths and 336 suspected cases of the highly contagious fever have been reported. The World Health Organization has declared the outbreak an international health emergency. Kumbuzile Tabete takes a look.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has commended the governments of the DRC and Uganda in what he's described as swift leadership and transparency in declaring the Ebola virus. In a statement, the president says early detection, rapid reporting and decisive action remain critical to containing outbreaks before they escalate into a wider regional crisis. He's called for preparedness and response through timely financing, technical assistance, medical countermeasures and direct support to affected communities. Ramaphosa has urged affected and at-risk countries to intensify cross-border collaboration, strengthen surveillance at formal and informal points of entry and ensure rapid information sharing. Kumbuzile Tabete, Eyewitness News.
Gold's trading at $4,515.07 an ounce. The rand is at 16.76 to the dollar, 22.25 to the pound, 19.41 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $111.05 a barrel.
In the traffic, if you are in Germiston, expect heavy delays on the N3 North between the Rand Airport interchange and Geldenhuys. This is due to an accident at Geldenhuys.
And in your sports, Sundowns defender Keanu Cupido says they should have been better in a 1-0 win over AS FAR in the CAF Champions League. Manchester United's Bruno Fernandes moves level with De Bruyne and Henry on a record 20 goal assists for the season. PGA Championship was won by Aaron Rai, 3 ahead of the field. And Yannick Sinner is the youngest man to win all Masters 1000s titles.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 8 degrees, peaking at 20. Pretoria, 9 and 20. Vereeniging, 7 and 20 degrees as well. The top story in EWN this hour. The grandparents of missing 2-year-old Umpiles Tole in Limpopo are expected to appear in court today.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Visit primemediaplus.com to enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for our Josie.
For Joburg, by Joburg, in Joburg.
Bamise bonke.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. My name is Bongani Bingwa. This really is a worrying story. The grandparents of a missing 2-year-old child expected to appear in court today. I mean, just sit with that for a second. The grandparents of a missing child, a toddler, 2 years old, are expected to appear in court today. They were arrested in connection with the disappearance of this little child. It's a little girl who was snatched sleeping at her grandmother's house earlier in the month. The mother of the child says the grandparents ought to face charges of child neglect. Right? Since time immemorial, the first people you trust with the care of your child, should you need a caregiver, are the grandparents. And now these two are facing charges of child neglect. The child went missing earlier in the month. It really is an awful story.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
One of the stories, of course, we wanted to pay some attention to today, and we just weren't able to get around to getting a confirmed interview, was the Helen Suzman Foundation, who are now saying, hang on a minute, how is it that we can have not only a criminally accused person, but in fact somebody who's been convicted of crimes? This is now the leader of the EFF, Julius Malemma, sitting on the Judicial Services Commission. So they want to test the legality of that arrangement. Julius Malemma, of course, since that Constitutional Court judgment on the Phala matter has been crowing for all the world to hear. I want you to listen now. He was on a podcast. It's called JJ Tabane, the Frank Dialogue podcast. So a number of South Africans in that conversation, some prominent media figures putting questions to the leader of the Red Berets. But one of the moments I thought was quite interesting because it was a wide-ranging discussion on the state of South Africa, our politics, and where the future might go. Malemma, of course, often challenged on his Pan-Africanist stance when it comes to undocumented migrants in South Africa. And one of the issues has been whether or not the EFF is prepared to lose support on an issue that is growing more populist by the day, with a number of organizations now organizing protest marches and gatherings and demonstrations. Why is the EFF not joining the bandwagon, essentially, has been the question for some time. Listen to Julius Malemma's vintage. I mean, this is vintage Julius Malemma. Listen to his response.
I'm not going to follow that riffraff of KZN, a tribalist riffraff that has got no idea.
Who's the tribalist riffraff?
That those people who are marching every day.
Oh, march and march.
Yeah, and then because of that, I must change my position because of fools, illiterates that make no reference to any law, immigration law, nothing. When you ask them, what do you need in law to be changed to accommodate what you are saying?
Yeah.
They drink Intellis. And then Intellis must change me. That someone is smoking Intellis, and then I must change my view.
Yeah.
Those traditional herbs they take
okay.
when they march, when you ask them questions, and then that must make me change. I can't change this. There is no persuasive argument presented to make me change, except foolishness.
I mean, you have to laugh. No, you really have to laugh. KG says, no, don't laugh. I'm like, no, you have to laugh. Vintage Malemma there. And of course, Malemma is often accused of flip-flopping on positions he has taken before. I'll tell you what, the other politician who seems to change his mind depending on the audience and the mood and the day, Donald Trump. I want you to listen now to this montage. It was put together by CNN, so credit to them. And they've got a montage of the US president when he wanted to be elected to become president and what he would say about China in those days versus what he was saying last week following his visit to Beijing. And this montage contrasts things he said earlier with things he's saying now. Have a listen.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our country. China's taking our jobs, our money. We've had a fantastic relationship. Such respect for China. We don't want you buying our land. We don't want you taking the land and basically taking it off the market. You want to see farm prices drop? You want to see farmers lose a lot of money? Just take that out of the market. There are about 31%, almost 31% of foreigners coming to Harvard. It's too much because we have Americans that want to go there. I could tell them I don't want any students. It's a very insulting thing to say to a country. If you want to see a university system die, take 500,000 people out of it.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
13 after 7, things you need to know at this hour. The World Health Organization declaring the Ebola outbreak in the DRC as a public health emergency of international concern. And in 2001, based on William Steig's children's book, Shrek was first released in movie theaters. Today is International Museum Day, and also it would have been the birthday of struggle stalwart Walter Sisulu.
EWN Traffic.
14 after 7, let's catch up with the roads. Khumutso, what are you seeing?
Thank you, Bongs. If you are in Bedford View, we have been told that a vehicle has overturned on the Linksfield Road, and it is causing heavy congestion on the N3 North from the Galulis interchange to Moerfontein Road. As a result, traffic is also affected on the R24 West as well as the N12 West. This is towards the Galulis interchange, so give yourself some extra time while you are in that stretch. Heading towards Sandton, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 South. This is from Woodmead Drive to Greyston Drive, and it is due to an accident. Over in Centurion, traffic remains sluggish on the N1 South as you come from the Parkfontein interchange all the way to Olifantsfontein Road. Also look out for faulty traffic lights in Monument Park at the R21 and Solomon Mahlangu Drive, as well as in Centurion at Old Johannesburg and Trichard Road. I'll have more updates in just a bit.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
That's Fani before he got naked. Fani's insurance premium went up for no reason, irritating him more than when the boys ignored the really funny meme he posted in the group chat. What? So Fani got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Go Fani. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Out there? Oh, why would you want to go out there? Your job's out there. Traffic to get to your job's out there. The guy at your job who hasn't showered since your last job is out there. Winter living is designed for staying in, especially with Decofern's red-hot markdowns on our coziest furniture like armchairs and couches. Get loads of stock and speedy delivery now at your local Decofern or decofernsa.co.za.
Chamberlain is now in the 4th generation and at 10 locations throughout Gauteng. Our differentiator is our long-serving and loyal staff. Available, knowledgeable. Can we help you? Big on stock, strong on service, built on values. Chamberlain, famous for hardware since 1903.
It's 6 a.m. in Kenya. Victor's little sister starts high school today, but her fees need to be paid first. Back in Jozi, Victor logs onto the Absa banking app and sends her money and a little extra for lunch. It arrives instantly.
Your money makes their world go round. Send cash to 18 countries across the world with Absa Global Pay. It's safe, instant, and affordable. Your story matters. Absa is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi.
It's Joburg.
In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babize bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for the people, for our Jozi. Babize bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primemediaplus.com.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
18 after 7. So, is airports company South Africa, AXA, the good news story of state-owned enterprises in South Africa? Compared to the likes of Eskom and Transnet, it has long stood tall without the usual laundry list of financial and operational crises. But perhaps rather than giving it a completely clean bill of health, perhaps it's a mixed picture. Excellent financial health, but some considerable operational challenges. So as the current CEO, Mpumi Mpofu, concludes her tenure, the board must look ahead at how to stabilize and modernize the country's airport network. We're joined now by Irvin Penyane, who is the chairperson of the Airports Company South Africa Board. A very good morning to you and welcome to our program. Thank you for your time this morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you? I'm very fine.
I'm very, very well, thank you. I mean, as I said in my introduction, in many respects, there is an argument to be made that AXA has been the good news story of SOEs.
Yes, that is true.
Do you want to give me more details as to how that might be from your point of view?
Oh yes. I thought you were still continuing with your question. Yes, thank you very much to the listeners. For starters, Airports Company South Africa formed in the AXA Act of 1993, has up to now been a very stable company, and it has been a good news story in that instead of always going to Pretoria to ask for a bailout or to ask for assistance, AXA is self-sufficient. AXA has been returning dividends to the shareholder. We made a profit of 1.1 billion rand recently. But it being a good news story is because of its resilience, if I will ever emphasize that. Fortunately, I was in the board just when COVID hit, and AXA was highly profitable, around the same amount. AXA would have gone down if it was not a stable company because of what happened to aviation globally. But AXA has been able to, globally, most airports and airlines went to very bad numbers. As far as we're concerned, we lost 2.5 billion during COVID, and the following year 1.5 billion, of course, because numbers were bad. But guess what? AXA recovered because of its resilience, because of leadership that is adaptive, and because of focus, of it being focused and having reserves. We can announce that we just returned to pre-COVID numbers, something many aviation companies have been battling with. Many airlines are still not able to come back.
And
so we have returned recently, to pre-COVID numbers. So the things we're doing now are the things we should have done in 2020 when COVID hit. So you can imagine that if COVID did not hit, we would have been far beyond that. We believe that our profitability should have been that side of 2 billion rand if it was not COVID.
Look, R1 billion is not to be sniffed at, so that's worthy of some congratulations. You've got a strong balance sheet. You talk about consistent profitability. And, of course, the boast that our airports continue to be ranked among the best on the continent.
Yes. We, if you look at the numbers, it will tell you like that Cairo has high numbers, and we are just within the top 5. But the difference is that we have more than one port of entry. Our numbers, if you combine them, you combine Joburg, OR Tambo, and Cape Town International and King Shaka. If you had put all of those together, who will have been the best? So yes, we are in terms of numbers, we're still up there within the top 5, and we are putting all our efforts to ensure that we exceed those numbers within the next 5 years.
Well,
and our capacity is not a challenge.
All right, that is the good news. Let's talk now about the areas that can be improved. Supply chain management, for example. I mean, the Auditor General continues to flag vulnerabilities on that score.
Yes. So let's also clarify this, that if you look through many state institutions in the last 3 years, there are many issues raised by the Auditor General. And people tend to look at the consistent issues raised from Auditor General, and the truth is that the AG themselves have matured a lot. Traditionally, when there were audits and institutions were dealing with their audits, will all score very high. But it is now very difficult to find clean audits because the Auditor General has matured. So we should start from there and say, therefore, we've got a challenge to also strengthen our internal audit so that by the time you go to external audit, you're very strong, because it is very tough these days to
I want to support you here, but my difficulty is that you surely aren't arguing that the Auditor General has become better at its job, and that's why your vulnerabilities are being exposed.
No. I'm saying, yes, we have vulnerabilities which we are working on. But I'm just making it as a side note that, of course, I'm serving in other boards as well. We're having the same conversations that we all need to up our ante. Things that we thought were not frowned upon, they are being frowned upon very seriously. And as we ease the board's conversation about cleaning those, we are tough. When I finish this interview, I'm going to meetings with stakeholders over the next 3 days. And we are dealing first with our own staff to deal with issues like that. We have identified, amongst three top priorities that the board has identified, is supply chain management. And the second is to ensure that our service providers are able to pay us. As I said, we are being owed a lot of money also by tenants at our various airports. We are strengthening those. And thirdly, to ensure that our commercial also our commercial activities are strengthened so that we get more cash. So as that stands, it shows that the board is serious. We're meeting stakeholders Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to discuss those hard things. We're calling them. Please tell us all your stones in a shoe. We will tell you our stones in a shoe too. Yes.
One of the things that remains a consistent challenge is baggage handling. I mean, I'm one person, so sample of one, in fact, sample of two. My colleague and I, both in very recent days, have had suitcases opened returning from flights from Cape Town to Johannesburg, and I would suggest to you that we're probably not the only ones. That remains a challenge.
Okay, sure. Baggage handling is always, previously, if you look at previous records, was worse than now. You remember stories of things that happened previously. And AXA takes this matter serious. If you look at the security that has been put in all the lines, throughout the value chain from when you leave the bag until the end, there is a point where bags are handed over to airlines. There are third-party providers who do baggage handling on behalf of AXA, but we are the airports company. We have to take responsibility. But if you can be fair, is that yes, you lost your bag. I'm sorry about that, but it used to be worse. And where we are now, is the concern that we have and the focus we have is that the security throughout the airport be improved. There are incidences here and there that have been in the media, and we are taking that serious. Part of these consultations is to talk tough to stakeholders. Tomorrow, the whole morning we're talking to stakeholders in the security cluster. Something that has never happened before, where the board speaks directly to stakeholders and say, we're unhappy about this, you should fix it, and otherwise you'll no longer be able to get this contract. Fortunately, we're going out on tender on this security contract, and most of the projects we have will be going out on tender in this next 2 years. So we are, because we've got those concerns.
Look, on a broader scale, people would say delayed capital expenditure. In other words, monies that should have been spent on runway expansions, terminal upgrades, those continue to show gaps between your capacity and international competitive standards. Addis Ababa, for example, is starting now to eat our lunch.
Yes. In fact, not just on the airport side, even on the airline side, East Africa started to eat our lunch in the last 5 years. They were not like this 10 years ago. That is our concern. We
were not like this 10 years ago.
We were not like this as a country because certain things happen. But as an airport company, we've been consistent. We are putting 22 billion rand to address that matter, and we can say that we have already spent about 1.5 billion of it. Most of these projects are going out on tender. We will say that 72% of that 22 billion rand is going to refurbishment and maintenance, and 15% of it is going to expansion. And we are the focus not just on OR Tambo only. It's always focus on those three major airports, being Cape Town, OR Tambo, and King Shaka. A new aligned runway planned for Cape Town and a new domestic arrivals terminal. And OR Tambo, we are going out for a new cargo terminal refurbishment. The old cargo terminal refurbishment, but there's a midfield cargo terminal that's been put. Those things say we are spending that 22 billion rand in this current permission, but the next permission cycle, which starts 3 years from now, the total amount with this what we have now will be 60 billion.
And of course,
so we are not short of money. But what is important is to deal with this duality. At one level, we've got strong financial delivery, right, as you said. But the other one, we do accept that there have been operational headwinds, and those happen due to maturity of the organization. Where we are now, we're focusing at all aspects of the organization being at maturity level 4 to 5. You can be able to deliver all of that. The board has focused on those things.
All right. Irvin Peña, I appreciate your time, chairperson of the Airports Company South Africa, who will, of course, be on the hunt for a new CEO as Mpumi Mpofu exits after 6 years in June. We've just given the cheat sheet, to anybody who comes for that interview. Hey, Irvin?
Yes. They just have to listen to you.
Listen to you, yeah. I
Yes.
appreciate your time. Irvin Peña, as I say, is the chairperson of the AXA board.
EWN Business.
All right, oil, of course, remains a concern, and that no doubt affects aviation as well. Ray White, tensions remaining high in the Middle East?
That's right. Bongani, Asian share markets are under pressure as fresh drone attacks in the Gulf saw oil prices and bond yields increase. The Hang Seng down 1.63, the Nikkei losing 0.92. Well, a drone strike caused a fire at a nuclear power plant in the United Arab Emirates, while Saudi Arabia reported intercepting 3 drones as US President Donald Trump warned that Iran must act fast to reach a deal. The vital Strait of Hormuz remains closed to all but a trickle of shipping as Tehran tries to formalize its control of the waterway that, during normal times, carries 20% of the world's oil trade. So that's very concerning. It continues, I'm afraid.
And, of course, China also losing some growth momentum. I mean, the whole world economy continues to suffer.
It's everybody. It's not just us, it's everybody. China's growth lost momentum for April, with industrial output and retail sales both sharply undershooting expectations. This is the world's second biggest economy, wrestled with higher energy costs like us from the Iran war and persistently weak domestic demand. Better than expected exports and China's domestic fuel pricing controls have helped weather the energy shock, but higher input costs threaten to squeeze already weak factory margins. Factory output grew 4.1% from a year earlier last month compared to 5.7%. That was in March. Most countries have been drastically affected by what's happening with the Strait of Hormuz.
And where's the rand?
Oh, we've lost some ground, I'm afraid, since Friday now. 16.75 to the dollar, 22.30. That's the pound. 19.46 the euro. Platinum, $1,977.68. Gold is now $4,545.20. And that oil price, Brent crude oil, $111.13. More business news for you in an hour.
Sfisa Zulu, your story. Essentially, when will people learn? This Eyewitness News brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 451442 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Well, two men will appear in the Tembisa Magistrates Court today after being linked to a video showing women recklessly handling guns. Police were made aware of the footage after it was widely circulated on social media over the weekend. In this video, the two women are seen playing with the guns and pointing them at each other. Police spokesperson Athlenda Mape says the men are believed to be the owners of the guns.
During the operation, the suspects were also found in possession of a hijacked vehicle. The two men, aged 21 and 34, have been arrested for contravention of the Firearms Control Act, the illegal possession of unlicensed firearms and ammunition, as well as being in possession of a hijacked motor vehicle.
Mape says police are still on the hunt for the women seen in the video.
The Acting National Commissioner of SABS, Lieutenant General Buleng Dimpane, has commended Gauteng Crime Intelligence for their swift response in tracing the suspects linked to the firearms seen in the video. The Acting National Commissioner said the arrest sent a strong warning that the reckless handling and display of firearms will not be tolerated and that police will act decisively against who break the law.
Gauteng Education MEC Lebogang Maile has revealed that schools in the province owe Eskom more than 6 million rand. Maile briefed media yesterday after the High Court in Pretoria ordered the city of Tshwane to restore electricity to schools disconnected for unpaid property rates. The MEC says some schools were hit with high charges after estimated bills were replaced with actual meter readings. Maile says the debt is linked to the decentralization system introduced for Section 21 schools, and under the system, schools and governing bodies are responsible for paying municipal services using funds allocated by the department.
Education services are not a privilege that is extended on the basis of financial ability. Education is a constitutionally enshrined right that is extended to all children in our country, regardless of their social, economic background or their geography.
Former Northwest Premier Bushi Mape is being remembered as a principled and disciplined leader. The anti-apartheid activist and former Umkhonto weSizwe combatant passed away on Saturday at the age of 68. His family says he succumbed to illness after a period of medical treatment. Nkosikona Malingamnisi reports.
Mape served as Northwest Premier from 2021 to 2024, leading efforts to stabilize the provincial government after years under administration. Supporters have credited him with providing steady leadership during a turbulent period in the province's politics. However, his administration also faced criticism from opposition parties, civil society organizations and residents over ongoing service delivery challenges across the Northwest. Paying tribute to Mape, opposition parties said although they often clashed with him politically, they respected him personally and viewed it as their duty to hold him accountable during his time in office. The Northwest Premier spokesperson Silo Tatai says Mape exemplified true ethical leadership.
Premier Mokhosi says that the former Premier was a true servant of the people, as he was a committed patriot who dedicated his entire life to the struggle for a democratic and prosperous country.
Mape's funeral details are yet to be announced. Nkosikona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
And at least 2 people have died after a 5.2 magnitude earthquake struck South China's Guangxi region. 13 buildings have collapsed after this morning's tremor. Authorities had evacuated over 7,000 people from the area. Earthquakes in China are relatively common. Last January, a devastating quake in the remote Tibet region killed at least 126 people and damaged thousands of buildings. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 7 and 9 degrees, peaking at highs of 20 degrees.
In the traffic in Bedfordview, the R24 West and the N12 West is heavily backed up towards the Kalulis interchange, and this is due to an accident on the N3 North at Linksfield Road.
The top story this hour. 2 men will appear in the Tembisa Magistrates Court today after being linked to a video showing women recklessly handling their guns.
If your bank was becoming too expensive, you'd switch, right? So why pay more for car insurance? Switching to Outsurance saved 32-year-old Parushka a whopping 729 Rand on her 2020 Haval H2. So get a quote now. And if Outsurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Do it now. SMS out to 45142. So that's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener.
The Midday Report at its heart is a current affairs show, but it really is a show about everything you need to know about and everything you didn't know you needed to know about. Our listener is sharp, plugged in, curious, has developed opinions, but is still open to learning new things. My favorite part is how witty, sharp, and funny our listener is. What we cover every day is breaking news, current affairs, politics, the courts, global developments, science, education, popular culture, sports, books, and of course, good things too. I like to think of it as a lunchbox with a little bit of everything. What I love about 702 Land is that it is full of energy. There's always something happening, a developing story to follow. But it's not parochial. The 702 family cares about what is happening in the world around them and how we plug into that.
The Midday Report with Mandy Wiener. Weekdays from 12 to 1 p.m.
Interested in getting a price for your car? Get a free, no-obligation offer on webuycars.co.za. The entire process is quick, easy, and hassle-free. So if you're ready for an offer, simply visit the WeBuyCars website or app and get an estimated price within minutes. Alternatively, visit your nearest WeBuyCars branch or pod and get everything done in one go. Did you know you can sell your financed vehicle to WeBuyCars? They'll even help settle the bank. So whatever you're selling, bike, boat, bakkie, car, etc., WeBuyCars would love to make you an offer. So if you're interested in trading in your vehicle or looking for a new ride, visit webuycars.co.za to explore thousands of deals. As I say, you can visit your nearest WeBuyCars branch to explore finance, insurance, warranties, and more. Whether you're buying, selling, or trading in, visit WeBuyCars online or in-store.
Hey guys, this is Robert Marawa, HollywoodBet's brand ambassador. Playing responsibly is part of the winning strategy. Make smart choices and continue to score. If you or someone that you know needs help, call the South African Responsible Gambling toll-free counseling line on 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. HollywoodBet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa. The historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 will be at Sunbet Arena Times Square from 26 July to the 2nd of August. Expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, premium hospitality, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This is Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
In a world that's continuously evolving, Africa is adapting, innovating, and finding new pathways for growth. R&B Africa Focus is back for its 5th season to unpack conversations shaping the continent right now. So every week on 702, the award-winning Crystal Alderson will take us closer and we'll look at influential economies, emerging opportunities across Africa with insights from R&B experts and regional voices. You can catch R&B Africa Focus on Tuesday on 702 Drive with John Perlman, and make sure you watch the in-depth video series with episodes released weekly on Prime Media Plus. R&B, a leading African corporate and investment bank.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. Notwithstanding the fact that AXA has done an amazing job and it's self-sustaining, I think the benchmark is just too low. We can't be comparing ourselves to other African airports where their standards are a lot lower than international best standards. I think unless we start comparing ourselves to international airports, we'll always be coming out as second best. Yusuf from Johannesburg.
Hi, good morning, Bonks. Yeah, that route between Johannesburg and Cape Town is not the first time that I'm hearing people complaining about their luggage. Last time, my daughter and the husband, my son-in-law, they went through to Cape Town. When they come back, en route from Cape Town when they're landing at OR International. Apparently, their bags were tampered with, and she missed her jewelry and all that. Second time around, same route, Johannesburg, between Johannesburg and Cape Town again. Same thing happened, but this time around they were never successful. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what could be done with it. Is it the thievery, like he's saying, from people who have been outsourced to handle luggage? Or what could be done about that? Maybe those are some of the trends. But yeah, Cape Town and Joburg, apparently there's a lot of thievery going on there.
And that's the kind of thing you think we should be over by now. I mean, I remember carte blanche exposés in the 90s showing baggage pilfering. When I was at Carte Blanche, I did at least a couple of stories on baggage pilfering at our airports, and that kind of thing still happens. Ray White was complaining earlier that he's had his suitcase opened. I had mine opened on the flight from Cape Town to Johannesburg just last week. Not 2 years ago, not 3 months ago, just last week. And you lock your suitcase and you do your little combinations, and still when you get to your destination, as you receive it, you think somebody has tampered with the suitcase. Now, nothing of any value or interest, clearly to the thieves, was inside the suitcase, so nothing was taken, but that remains a problem. And I take the point about African standards with a pinch of salt, because if you just Google pictures of the Addis Ababa airport, you can understand why it is in fact winning against OR Tambo and Cape Town International, right? So the chairperson of AXA was arguing, yeah, but if we're to put all our airports together as one thing, then we'd be the best. But Addis Ababa and increasingly many African countries are going to catch up with us. This idea that, you know, there's an exceptionalism about South Africa and that we shouldn't really compare ourselves to the rest of the continent, I think is something that's going to become old hat very, very soon. Because whilst we are still fiddling with all kinds of issues as far as state-owned enterprises are concerned, many countries on the continent are simply getting on with it. So that's not an argument that we're going to be able to make for very much longer, I'm afraid.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Mapule has today's answer. Mapule, a very good morning to you. What's today's answer, please?
Morning, Bongani. The answer today is 2001.
2001. Can I tell you something, Mapule? Our lines are already flooded with people trying to call. They don't even know what you're going to say, but they were already calling. Have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance, Mapule?
Yes, sure. I've got a quote.
You biscuit. 1,000 Rand is coming your way. Mapule in Deep Kloof in Soweto says today's answer is 2001. What, pray tell, might be the question? Give us a call on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, I mean, if you're a Masandawana, you're a Sundowns fan, you're pretty happy this morning.
You are, because not only did Orlando Pirates slip up on Saturday, but you're also 1-0 up in the two-leg CAF Champions League final, and a crucial goal. Every goal is crucial, right? So Mamelodi Sundowns defender Keanu Cupido saying, though, that they were their own worst enemy in a 1-0 win over AS FAR yesterday. Modiba with the goal in the first half.
It wasn't that tough. I think we made it difficult for ourselves, basically. We had good opportunities to kill the game off. But at the end of the day, we still won with a 1-0 victory, and keeping a clean sheet was the most important thing for us.
Second leg is this week, Sunday in Rabat. Man United beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 through Sean Mbeumo and Cunha. Bruno Fernandes' assist takes him level with Henry and De Bruyne for a record 20 assists in one season.
No, obviously it feels great. I wanted to push myself to be level with the best and trying to overtake them also. It's a privilege and an honor for me to be in such elite company, and know two players that are probably two of the best players in the last decade and two of the Premier League, and it's a huge honor for me.
Newcastle's 3-1 win over West Ham included 2 goals from Asula. West Ham stays in the bottom 3, 2 points behind Spurs. Everton squandered their lead, losing to Sunderland 3-1. Leeds beat Brighton 1-0. Wolves 1-0 with Fulham. Palace 2-0 with Brentford. Tonight, Arsenal under pressure to beat Burnley. In golf, Aaron Rai shot a bogey-free final round 5 under 65 to win the PGA Championship by 3 on 9 under. Rai's the first Englishman in 107 years to win the PGA Championship. The win included a 69-foot birdie putt on the 17th.
That putt on 17 was incredible. Was just trying to focus on speed and get it close. It started to look really good line-wise with probably about 15 feet to go. Slowed up really nicely as well, so it just kind of conspired all together for that ball to go in the hole. But an incredible putt and a real bonus to see that one go in.
United Rugby Championship quarter-final fixtures next weekend have been confirmed. The Lions will travel to Leinster. The Stormers and Bulls host Cardiff and Munster. In tennis, Yannick Sinner beat Casper Ruud 6-4, 6-4 to be the first home winner at the Italian Open in 50 years. He's also his collarbone and fractured his neck, while Johan Zarco fractured his knee in 2 separate red flag crashes at the Catalonia GP. The race won overall by Di Antonio. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
13 to 8, the CWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Let's take a look at the roads. What are you seeing at this hour, Khomotso?
If you are in Randburg, look out for a stationary vehicle on the N1 North at Winnie Mandela Drive. It is in the right lane and it's slightly slowing down traffic from Malibongwe Drive. If you are heading towards Sandton, traffic remains congested on the M1 South from Woodmead Drive to Grayston Drive, and it is following an accident in that area. Meanwhile, in Pretoria, anticipate slight delays on Eskampa Drive between the R80 and WF Nkomo Street. And also look out for faulty traffic lights in Danville at Vermeugen and Trans-Oranje Road, as well as in Gasfontein at EC Smart Street and Gasfontein Road. Likewise, if you come across any other traffic, please do send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance Pointsmen can't help you make small talk with other school moms, but they can help you get to the game on time. And seeing them on your route just makes you feel better. The Outsurance Pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so everyone gets to where they need to be quickly and safely. They've been doing it for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag #PointsmanLove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Did you know that you are entitled to buy a new, demo, or used car without a service or a maintenance plan? You can also use an independent workshop for all servicing and maintenance needs without your warranty being automatically voided. Independent workshops are entitled to all technical info and parts needed to work on your vehicle, so you can shop around for the best price and service. Right to Repair. It's your choice. Visit righttorepair.org.za.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie, walk the talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
That's Kefense, before she got naked. Kefense's premium went up twice last year, and she was more confused than when her ex said, "I need to find myself," and then found somebody else. So Kefense got naked. She got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Good for you, Kefense. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702's Small Business Focus, powered by Capitec, shines a spotlight on the drive, passion, and dedication behind every successful small business.
So we've got one of the clients at Merchant Capital that we are currently working with actually took our funding for a revamp. They took that money and they upgraded their Wi-Fi and their smart TVs and highlighted this as a pre-value add in their marketing. So that then immediately focuses on sales. So if you use it wisely, you can and understand your fixed versus variable costs and what variable costs are worth it to increase your sales and what variable costs are worth it to cut, and don't make long-term fixed investment decisions over a 10-year horizon at the moment. Look at your operating expenses as they stand.
Every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m. Catch the Small Business Focus on 702 and bank on better business banking with Capitec. Capitec is an authorized FSP. 46669.
702
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Insurance. Please tell me, what's the question if the answer is 2001? Let's go to Mandisi and Kimberley. Mandisi, what's the question?
In which year was iconic DreamWorks animated film Shrek released into movie theaters based on William Stieg's book Shrek?
Yes, indeed. It was on this day in 2001. Are you a fan of the series, Mandisi?
Yes, I am, Prabhong.
Can you do the ogre's voice?
No, I can only do this.
No, you don't have to work that hard. 2,000 Rand is coming your way. All thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Yes, indeed. That animated series of movies now, first released, of course, on this day in 2001. Do you remember this little song from the soundtrack?
I saw her face, I'm a believer, and not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love.
Smash Mouth from the soundtrack of Shrek, I'm a Believer.
Outsurance can't improve your record for leg day, but they could improve the car insurance premium you currently pay. Get a quote today, and if Outsurance can't save you money on your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Get a quote and get savings or cash. Either way, you win. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Doing your famous through meetings, in traffic, at the store? Don't let seasonal hay fever get in the way of a better you. Unite against allergies with Demazin once a day, providing 24-hour non-sedating relief from symptoms like a runny nose, sneezing, and itchy red eyes. Demazin gets it done. Speak to your pharmacist today about Demazin once a day.
Ask yourself, what matters most? Is it being there for their first steps and still around for their first dance? Knowing you're not just covered, but cared for. Bonitas goes beyond benefits and claims. We're in your corner for what matters most. Bonitas, medical aid for South Africa. Voted #1 medical aid in the Ask Africa Orange Index Awards for the 2nd year running. Visit bonitas.co.za and find your plan.
We could tell you we're the best bank in Africa, but if you're a CEO or CFO looking to scale, you'll want the numbers. Like that 350 of Africa's corporates bank with us, that 80% of its billion-dollar corporates trust us with their business, and that our systems process 300 million Rand a minute. That's 430 billion Rand every day. Grow with the bank that does big numbers. Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Banking. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
6 minutes before 8 o'clock. Let's catch up with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
Your first story, you want to touch me on my studio. Let's talk about single parent struggles.
I think being a single parent is probably one of the most difficult jobs around for many, many reasons. And particularly if, you have if you, let's say, for example, like this video, you are you're a dad, a single parent dad, and you have a daughter, and she wants you to do her hair. Would you kind of know what to do? Because traditionally, if you think about it, maybe the mother, if you're a traditional household, the mother may take care of the hair, right? So this dad is a full-time single dad, and his daughter had asked him many times to do her hair, and he had no clue. He didn't know what to do. So he had gone to Amazon and bought himself a mannequin head and logged onto YouTube and started learning different styles of what to do. And then one day she came again and asked him after many, many months. And he was so excited and he was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And he did her hair. And this video that he has posted has gone completely viral. And many single dads have related to this video as well. One comment here, which I found quite then, was trying to get custody of his girls. And he was worried that he wouldn't get custody due to the fact that he didn't know how to do various things, including their hair. So I came to work early for weeks and weeks and let him practice different styles on my hair. And on and on it went. And, eventually he got custody there. So an interesting one, single parent struggles. So what are some of the things that you had to learn or deal with or handle that might have traditionally been dealt with by the other parent? So you're a single mom. What are some of the struggles or things that you had to learn if you have a boy as a child, for example?
Or a girl, for that matter.
Or a girl. Well,
there's a difference. There's a difference, to be clear, between a single parent and a parent who is single. I make that distinction very clearly.
Yes.
Often a parent who is single does get assistance from the other parent, but a single parent usually does not. That's, for me, the distinction. I mean, the other thing is, I think it's how we are socialized. There's a whole lot that dads in particular learn about parenting daughters on their own that they figure out was never in a manual. Even for mom, it was trial and error. She wasn't born with a manual where she just instinctively knew what to do, but our society expects moms to know and dads not. And so I think that's one of the biggest lessons I have learned, is that actually there's no inborn instinct that makes one a better parent than the other. You just have to try and learn, and that's exactly what this guy has done in this video. But I think we'll get some interesting stories on that one. Kabazela, what have you learned as a single parent? What are your struggles, or what have your struggles been when it comes to raising a child, especially of the opposite sex?
702 Feedback with Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa Kone,
Yebo bong.
This is not something you have to deal with, but if you were to imagine yourself as a single parent, what do you think would be most difficult? Because you've got boys. Would that be tricky as they get older, I suppose?
Bongani, I had lots of practice because I actually did also raise my own nephew as well. He lived with me since he was a baby, as a teenager even. So I have lots of experience.
So you old hat, done this before.
But you know what? Your instinct will kick in. You'll definitely know what to do when the time comes. It's not something that you have to overthink.
Riddle me this. Do we get away with murder because no one expects us to know? Yeah. Whereas there are things that women are expected to know that are actually sometimes hard to figure out, even for women.
Absolutely, Bongani. Men are don't have that instinct. So they get away with a lot. They don't need to know a lot.
I don't know if they have the instinct. I think that if they need to, they would. But I think they don't get the pressure to know.
Yeah, they don't. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Unless you're an interested parent, then.
All right. What other feedback do you have?
Well, Bongani, listeners are actually reacting to the story that Sfiso broke on EWN about the Ebola outbreak. They are actually quite concerned that there seems to be no cure at the moment for this particular strain. And also we do have a clip from a BBC correspondent, Dominic Hugh, who will explain what the World Health Organization said about this particular outbreak. Let's take a listen.
Of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So what do we know so far? Well, the World Health Organization, the WHO, has declared this outbreak of Ebola to be a public health emergency of international concern. So far, the outbreak is centered in the northeast of the country, and there have been around 246 reported cases and 80 deaths. But the WHO says so far it's not reached sort of pandemic proportions. But it has warned that a much larger outbreak than what we've seen so far could be coming, and there is a risk of local and regional spread. Now, the species of the virus that's behind this current outbreak is known as the Bongani Bingwa virus, and that is pretty rare. That's why the international health community are so alarmed. The problem is there's no vaccine and there's no known treatment. The initial symptoms appear quite suddenly. They can be a bit like flu. You can have a headache, aching muscles, a temperature, but they can develop very, very quickly into vomiting and diarrhea, and sometimes also then internal and external bleeding.
Ever feel like there's a disease just waiting for us, right? Like COVID tried, but there's one that's coming. Yo, guys, let's go to the news.
This is EWN.
The grandparents of missing Limpopo toddler will appear in court, and a bail application for taxi boss Joe Sibanyoni is set to continue today. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. More details of the state's case against the grandparents of missing Limpopo toddler Umphile Sithole are expected to be revealed in court today. The pair is said to appear in the Mwenkereleng Magistrates Court this morning after they were arrested on child neglect charges on Friday. 2-year-old Umphile was reportedly snatched while sleeping next to her grandmother at their home earlier this month. The child's mother says she believes the grandparents know more than what they've discharged to the police. Kosikona Malingamnisi reports.
When EWN visited the family just over a week ago, the grandmother appeared distraught and pleaded for the child's safe return. But police now believe the grandparents may have been negligent. They were arrested after Umphile's mother opened a case on police advice. Nompumelelo Sithole claims the child's father refused to give a statement to police and has been spreading false claims about her. She has since left the home where Umphile was last seen because of safety concerns. Police are continuing their search for the missing toddler who was last seen wearing a pink jersey and black tights. Kosikona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News in Limpopo.
4 men arrested for extortion, including Mpumalanga taxi boss Joe Sibanyoni, are set to return to court this morning for the continuation of their bail applications. Sibanyoni, Mvimbi Masilela, Philemon Caesar and Bafana Sindane were arrested by the Political Killings Task Team last week. They are facing charges of extortion and 2 counts of money laundering. Mongezi Koko reports.
According to the charge sheet before the court, Joe Ferrari Sibanyoni and his 3 co-accused are alleged to have extorted a well-known Mpumalanga-based businessman multiple times between 2022 and 2025. The state accuses the group of threatening the businessman and forcing him to pay a protection fee, failing which his businesses would allegedly be shut down by force. Over the 3-year period, the businessman is said to have paid 60-year-old Sibanyoni more than 2.2 million rand. However, Sibanyoni seems undeterred, telling journalists last week that being behind bars would give him an opportunity to preach the word of God to criminals in jail. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News, KwaGafontein.
Staying in the courts, former police sniper Matipandile Soteni is returning to the Brakpan Magistrates Court today for a formal bail application. Soteni has been behind bars for more than 2 months in connection with the murder of Marius van der Merwe, who was a witness at the Madlanga Commission. It's alleged that Soteni was the gunman who shot van der Merwe outside his Brakpan home in December. Alfred Mushwana has more.
The case of witness D's alleged murderer Matipandile Soteni has faced a number of delays, mostly due to his dispute with his legal team. Soteni has had to change lawyers after claiming that his previous attorney was taking instructions from someone other than him. Having now spent more than 2 months behind bars, Soteni previously expressed frustration in court, saying he never planned to be away from his family.
Are you okay, Mr. Soteni? No, I'm not okay. I must take my children to school. I've got a lot to do. How many children do you have? I've got 3 kids.
Soteni is now being represented by advocate Ntabiseng Mahumane, the same lawyer who represented political fixer Brown Mukhotsi at the Madlanga Commission last week. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News.
And President Cyril Ramaphosa has called on African Union member states and international partners to strengthen support for pandemic prevention. This is in the wake of the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and in Uganda. According to the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, a total of 88 deaths and 336 suspected cases of the highly contagious fever have been reported. The World Health Organization has declared the outbreak an international health emergency. Kumbuzile Tabete takes a look.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has commended the governments of the DRC and Uganda in what he's described as swift leadership and transparency in declaring the Ebola virus. In a statement, the president says early detection, rapid reporting and decisive action remain critical to containing outbreaks before they escalate into a wider regional crisis. He's called for preparedness and response through timely financing, technical assistance, medical countermeasures and direct support to affected communities. Ramaphosa has urged affected and at-risk countries to intensify cross-border collaboration, strengthen surveillance at formal and informal points of entry and ensure rapid information sharing. Kumbuzile Tabete, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $4,515.07 an ounce. The rand is at 16.76 to the dollar, 22.25 to the pound, 19.41 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $111.05 a barrel.
In Germiston, expect heavy delays on the N3 North between the Rand Airport interchange and Geldenhuys. And in Randburg, look out for that stationary vehicle on the N1 North at Winnie Mandela Drive.
And in your Sport League, leaders Arsenal must beat Burnley tonight. Yesterday, West Ham's relegation fears compounded by a 3-1 loss to Newcastle. Sundowns got a crucial 1-0 win over AS FAR in the first leg of the CAF Champions League. And Englishman Aaron Rice shoots a final round 65 to win the PGA Championship by 3.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs of 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. More details of the state's case against the grandparents of missing Limpopo toddler Tole are expected to be revealed in court today.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie, walk the talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 after 8, some reactions on our YouTube page on the stories we've been covering this morning. One reaction says, SABS is now not SABS approved. Kanjani, how? That was the most trusted anything in SA. Even in primary school, we used to search. Government is swak. The message says, this is really interesting. I made the comparison between Addis Ababa and some of our airports, and this listener says, Addis feels more efficient for transit, but not necessarily enjoyable. It's more of a moving people and cargo at scale airport than a luxury airport experience. SA airports still the best in my view. A number of you, of course, reacting to that clip I played from the EFF leader who was on the Frank Dialogue podcast with JJ Tabane. He discussed a wide-ranging number of issues on the state of the country and where our future is going. The one thing he remains insistent on is he's not going to join the populist bandwagon when it comes to undocumented migrants. And he makes a really compelling argument because he says, okay, beyond the marches, beyond the demonstrations and the name-calling, what do you want us to do? Give us the piece of legislation that you think would make a difference, because ultimately we're a country of laws. We're not a country of marches and demonstrations. There's only so much your doing can achieve. And he's saying, beyond the marches and trying to grab headlines and cameras, the people who are making these objections don't have much more to say. If you missed it, here is Julius Malemma.
I'm not going to follow that riffraff of KZN, a tribalist riffraff that has got no idea.
Who's the tribalist riffraff?
That those people who are marching every day.
Oh, march and march.
Yeah, and then because of that, I must change my position because of fools, illiterates that make no reference to any law, immigration law, nothing. When you ask them, what do you need in law to be changed to accommodate what you are saying?
Yeah.
They drink Intellis. And then Intellis must change me. That someone is smoking Intellis, and then I must change my view.
Yeah.
Those traditional herbs they take
okay.
when they march, when you ask them questions, and then that must make me change. I can't change this. There is no persuasive argument presented to make me change, except foolishness.
What do you make of that? Many critics of the EFF will suggest that the party may not gain as much support as it might seek because of its stance on migration. Do you agree?
Morning, Bongani. No, Malemma must continue to call people fools and all that. One thing that I know about Jacinta is that she knows the law, and she calls the constitution. So she must continue calling people fools. We'll see who's a fool post-elections. South Africans are going to punish EFF big time. Big time.
What Julius Malemma is saying, maybe he's the one who doesn't understand what intelligence is. He's lost touch with the realities of South Africans. Immigration is a big problem. You go to London Road in Alex, oh my goodness. Oh, I don't even know how to explain this. Every little corner in South Africa, there are foreign nationals who are illegal in the country. Every corner. I mean, from Kuruman to Mkanyagute, from Kanyagute to Little Karoo, you name every corner. It is a serious problem. Anonymous in Kempton Park.
Well, Anonymous, I don't think Julius Malemma denies that fact, but I think what he's asking is, beyond marches and demonstrations, what are solutions that are on offer? And he's arguing that there don't seem to be very many, no matter how much people say they're concerned. They're not talking about what we need to do using legal instruments to fix the problem.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
12 after 8. Kabazela wants to know if you're a single parent, particularly raising a child of the opposite sex on your own. What have been some of your difficulties as you've done this? Ray White, you're a dad. For a long time, you raised a daughter on your own.
Yeah.
What was that like? What was the most challenging or even interesting part of doing so?
Every single morning going to school in a French plat. My child had to have a French plat. But
did you know how to do the
I
French
learned.
plat?
I did learn. I didn't do it very well, but I tried my best. There were days Chloe would get out the car and go off to school, and I'd go, Dad, no, Ray, no, guy. And I'd call her back and say, just come back here. And sit for a very long time trying to do a French plat. I couldn't do it. We got it right, but I wasn't great that way.
You weren't the best French platter, were you?
No. It's difficult.
These are not problems you have to encounter.
Do you see how far the mic is away from me?
But I can also tell you, oh gosh, I'm going to hang my head in shame on this one.
Yeah?
I always also played the clueless single dad.
Okay.
And I cannot tell you how quickly the moms at school would want to assist, because I always played the angaz.
How does this work?
Yeah, so overwhelmed, just so much for me. And the moms would leave it to us. And sometimes I got away with murder.
I was one of the best soccer moms out. I was, because we'd go to Irish dancing, and I was the only dad who would sit there with all the moms. And they would bring their cookies and their this and their that, and we would discuss all sorts of stuff. I was a soccer mom for many years.
Good morning, Bongs. I completely agree. Women are extensively, even with animals, female animals, they are nurturers. Women are born nurturers, so they'll naturally know what to do with babies. Fathers have their own roles as well. I mean, I don't know why we keep on getting dismissed. We have things that women cannot even attempt to do. You understand? Same with raising kids. Sometimes I know you're forced to, but due to certain situations, but nature dictates.
Morning, Bongani and Kabazela. On the single parenting thing, one of my biggest fears was having to teach my son how to pee. Obviously, we don't have the same anatomy, and so I couldn't teach him. Fortunately, he had some older male cousins who actually taught him, and then I was just so grateful for that. But that was really one of my biggest fears.
Bonks, good morning to the team. I'm not a single parent, but dressing up my girl. She just turned 17 now. But when she was much younger, the days of the creche, primary school and all that, it was a nightmare. Anytime the mom is not around and I need to be the one to dress up her, she always come back and say, "What? You let my daughter go to school like this? You let my daughter go to church like this?" It's always a struggle. So, when it comes to dressing them up, for the boy, I didn't have much problem. But for the girl, it was a nightmare, and she knew it.
Good morning. Happy Monday. It's Jane from Soweto.
So I'm a single parent as well, and was for a very long time. And I'm raising 2 boys. And with my first child, it was so difficult to potty train because we are a household of women. And it's me and it's my mom. My dad had passed away. And so it was very difficult for my son to learn how to pee standing up because he would see me or my mom sitting on the toilet seat, and I would often show him that, he needs to stand. This is how he's supposed to pee. But he'd always say, but you said, so I also want to sit. So it was a bit of a struggle, but we managed until he got the hang of it. Thank you and have a good day.
Wow. I would not have thought that's difficult at all.
Just aim.
Yeah.
Mind the shoes. Aim.
And boys can sit too,
They can.
They can sit too, Yeah, I mean, just, yeah. Hendrik, you're in Waterkloof. You agree with Malemma?
Highly unlikely. I mean, but what I especially take umbrage to this morning is that from leadership position, he makes a comment by calling the marchers illiterate tribal riffraff. I mean, that is totally unacceptable. I mean, it seems he reserves his xenophobic commentary for his compatriots. It would really serve him well to just give an ear to the marchers to hear their concerns instead of actually insulting them on national platform. That's highly irresponsible.
You don't think he's got a point when he says, okay, what laws do you want to change beyond your marches and your toy-toying? What do you want us to do? And he says they haven't given him anything to do. They're just angry. And that's why he says what he says.
Well, I mean, it doesn't excuse the insulting verbiage that he uses. I mean, one might agree with him that highlight the laws that you think are being broken, and there are plenty, and it starts actually with just patrolling our borders better. But I'm saying that he has, the onus is on him as a leader just to use better language, all right? I mean, if the same language, if Helen Zille in an interview referred to the marchers as illiterate tribal riffraff, I mean, the outcry would be...
Yeah, there'd be a reaction. There'd definitely be a reaction, Hendrik. All right, Tom, voters don't insult them, says Hendrik in Waterkloof. Nicholas in Midrand, you also don't agree with Malemma.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very well, Nicholas. Go ahead.
Look, to some extent, I do agree with him. I think the main thing for me is to follow the immigration laws. However, it is a pandemic in this country with undocumented foreigners. So that's where I don't agree that we don't need to take action. It is about time that we take action, but it's doing it the right way, where I agree with him. We need to be informed about the immigration laws.
I think you actually agree with him, because he's saying, all right, what actions must we take? Tell me the actions you want taken, and let's have a conversation. And he's saying 100%, that the people who are making a lot of the noise are making the noise but aren't offering concrete solutions. So I would argue, Nicholas, that perhaps you agree with him more than you realize.
EWN Traffic. This
EWN Traffic is brought to you by the House of Citroen. The all-new Citroen Basalt is here. Book a test drive at citroen.co.za. So there's issues around the Galulis interchange.
Yes, if you are in Edenvale, there's traffic pressure on the R24 West with delays backing up from Old Pretoria Road. The N12 West is also experiencing some delays. This is from Kraft Road, and it is due to an accident at the Galulis interchange. Over in Boysens, give yourself some extra time for those persisting peak time delays on the M1 North heading towards the Crown interchange. And in Centurion, traffic is still slow moving on the N1 South. This is from Brakfontein interchange to Olifantsfontein. Also look out for faulty traffic lights in Midrand at Old Pretoria and Olifantsfontein, as well as the N1 North and N1 South and Olifantsfontein, as well as in the capital city. Traffic lights are out in Centurion at Old Johannesburg and Brakfontein, as well as in Gasfontein at EC Smart Street and Gasfontein Road. If you come across any other traffic, please do send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The all-new Citroen Basalt is here with keyless entry, wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. It's made to look good and make life easy. And that 470-litre boot, it's ready for every outfit change and then some. the all-new Citroen Basalt Coupe SUV from 354,000 Rand. Register now for the limited launch deal assist of up to 40,000 Rand. Book a test drive today at citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
Let's hear from Dr. Armand, owner of Monument Dental, why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance.
It was one call and I was covered immediately. We are very happy with the premium we're paying. I wish I did it sooner.
For dentistries, general medical practices, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to OUTsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Something big is coming. You see, if you're tired of life never giving you a real chance, just know that your chance is coming. We've decided that if life isn't gonna give us bigger and better, then we're gonna give it to ourselves. We're also tired of the ones running this whole thing. Soon there'll be a takeover, a change, a chance. Like we said, something big is coming, and your chance to change your life is finally coming home with Sizekaya. Mzansi, a new chapter begins 1st of June 2026.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
How does the system work? So if a song is played, say, 100 times on Spotify, how much is paid over by you? How does that ratio work?
The way it works is that there's no fixed rand amount for 100 streams. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings about streaming. Spotify pays royalties based on stream share.
Jocelyn Muhutu Uremi, the managing director for Spotify.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by Absa Business Banking, featuring the AgriTrends 2026 Autumn Edition. In agriculture, smart moves need smart insights. Get the latest AgriTrends report at absaagritrends.co.za. Absa is a registered FSP.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Catch up with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam Gilchrist will start in the UAE. It's still not business as usual, is it?
It's really not. And we've got, again, the war of words ramping up. It seems to happen most Monday mornings. Donald Trump firing off a salvo of words in Iran's direction about if they don't do this. I think the word annihilation was used again. But this drone strike over the weekend rather sets an interesting kind of bottom line for that. So what we have here is a nuclear power station with a fire close to the inner perimeter of it. So it actually, technically speaking, there were 3 drones fired at the Barak nuclear power plant in Abu Dhabi. 2 of them were intercepted, but the 3rd drone struck an electrical generator. Okay, no radiological fallout, no injuries, no issues with the electricity generated by this nuclear power plant, but reading between the lines, we still don't know, by the way, whose drone it was. Was it Iranian? We kind of think it was, unless it was a rogue Israeli or American, which we would, no, surely not. But reading between the lines, was this therefore really a warning shot? Look what we could do, or was this actually a missed attempt to cause pandemonium? A nuclear power plant on fire in the UAE would be a very uncomfortable situation for all of the Middle East. What happens next? Is this also, given Donald Trump's continuing war of words, does this then up the ante with that? Because it does look like whoever fired this is not denuded of their armed forces.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that it entered from the western border direction will leave it all open to speculation. Let's go to Europe now, Adam. Tell me about this car ramming incident in Italy and how it might ignite anti-immigrant sentiment.
Yeah, it already has to some extent. The Deputy Prime Minister of Italy has been talking about the incident. The incident itself was a guy driving into a crowd in Modena in central Italy, and 8 people were injured, 4 of them very badly. We believe that 2 had to have legs amputated almost immediately. So 4 in a very bad way in hospital, 8 people injured. Also, the guy suspected of doing it, El Kudri, got out of the car allegedly and started stabbing people. And certainly one person suffered stab wounds before he was kind of apprehended. So El Kudri has an Egyptian name, or Moroccan name, I suppose I should say, a Moroccan name, but was actually stopped from moving on by 2 Egyptians who happened to be nearby. So they actually intervened. And yet the Deputy Prime Minister has waded in saying, look, this is an example of what foreigners can do. We should review residency permits, thinking, well, El Kudri is, if indeed it is him, is second generation Italian. He might have a Moroccan sounding name, but he's Italian. And the two guys who helped stop him are Egyptian. So where are we going with all this? And it doesn't take very much in Europe at the moment for right wing to spring up, or indeed left wing to spring up in defense, and to have things go. I mean, basically, we're talking about another car ramming. And only a week ago, we were talking about Leipzig, and here we are in Italy and Modena. And oh my word, how do these things stop?
Now, Adam, if you want to use the words kitsch, camp, and cheesy, think no further than Eurovision.
Yeah, we could throw in cheap as well if you like. Why not? Yeah. Do you know what? It's a glorious winner. Bangara from Bulgaria has won this year's Eurovision. If you haven't been following it, it is a nonsense song. I am assured it's not nonsense. It's about finding the inner love and living your life according to love and not fear, and about not too much introspection. Or it's just a very catchy pop song called Bangarangara, which sort of gets you going. It was a beautifully performed piece, beating Delta Goodrem, who was one of the favourites and who was an actual singer. We all might have heard of Delta Goodrem, who represented Australia. The UK entry, by the way, as usual, came pants last, 1 point in total. 1 point. Thank you, Ukraine, for that 1 point. It was an awful song, although, again, a load of nonsense. But this year, it was about sort of dark forces. There were a lot of songs that looked like kind of utter kitsch nonsense up front, but had other things going on with them. Germany's entry was on fire. Norway's had no self-control. Sweden's entry, Felicia, she gave us the classic lyric, "You're in my head, my heart, my body part." It was that kind of a Eurovision. It had something for everyone.
And before we laugh at it too much, Adam, let's remember Eurovision has given us ABBA and Celine Dion.
And Nena, and Bucks Fizz, and Cliff Richard, arguably.
Good things can come from camp and kitsch. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
27 after 8, let's wrap up the business news for the morning. Adam and I were talking, of course, about this strike on the UAE. Ray White, international businesses now losing billions due to this continuing crisis in the Persian Gulf.
You know, it bongs us everywhere. A study by Reuters shows that the war with Iran has already cost companies around the world at least $25 billion. And the bill is climbing. A review of corporate statements since the start of the conflict by companies listed in the United States, Europe, and Asia offers a sobering look at the fallout. At least 279 companies have cited the war as a trigger for defensive actions to blunt the financial hit, including price increases and production cuts. Others have suspended dividends or buybacks, furloughed staff, added fuel surcharges, or sought emergency government assistance. And the study doesn't take Africa or South America or South Africa into account. So that's just the tip of the iceberg, I'm afraid.
Goodness me. Let's, talking of Africa, let's come back to our continent. Uganda. What are Ugandans saying about Starlink?
Well, the introduction of Elon Musk's Starlink in Uganda seems to have been given the thumbs up by many. Now, the president, Yoweri Museveni, said in a post on X that Starlink had been given the green light. Starlink has been rapidly expanding across Africa and is already operating in more than a dozen countries on the continent, including Somalia. Ugandan consumers have long complained about the high cost and unreliability of domestic internet services, which some blame on limited competition in the market. There has been disagreement over Starlink operating in this country, of course.
All right, let's come back to the markets then. And the currency?
Well, after what happened with those drone attacks in Saudi Arabia and elsewhere, Asian share markets are under pressure as those fresh drone attacks in the Gulf saw oil prices and bond yields increase. Hang Seng losing 1.63%, the Nikkei down 0.92%. Our rand also under pressure. The dollar is strengthening 16.73 to the greenback at 22.29. That's the pound. The euro is 19.44. Platinum $1,973.50. Gold is $4,540.20. And yes, Brent crude oil, $111.13. More business news with Stephen later on today.
Catch up now with a classic story of justice delayed and hopefully not denied. Swisa Zulu, good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Former Umzimkhulu local municipal manager Stanley Skhosana will today return to court for the murder of ANC politician Sindiso Makaqqa. Makaqqa, who was a councillor at the municipality during Skhosana's tenure, was killed in 2017. Skhosana was arrested by the Political Killings Task Team in July last year after being implicated by hitman Sibusiso Ngcengwa. In Gauteng, 2 men will appear in the Tembisa Magistrates Court today after being linked to a video showing women recklessly handling guns. Police were made aware of the footage after it was widely circulated on social media over the weekend. In the video, the 2 women are seen playing with the guns and pointing them at each other. Police spokesperson Athlenda Mape says the men are believed to be the owners of the guns.
During the operation, the suspects were also found in possession of a hijacked vehicle. The 2 men, aged 21 and 34, have been arrested for contravention of the Firearms Control Act, the illegal possession of unlicensed firearms and ammunition, as well as being in possession of a hijacked motor vehicle.
But she says police are still looking for the women in the video.
The acting National Commissioner of SABS, Lieutenant General Buleng Dimpane, has commended Gauteng Crime Intelligence for their swift response in tracing the suspects linked to the firearms seen in the video. The acting National Commissioner said the arrest sent a strong warning that the reckless handling and display of firearms will not be tolerated and that police will act decisively against who break the law.
The Western Cape has been rocked by another deadly weekend, with police investigating 2 mass shootings. Officers are appealing for public assistance as they hunt for those behind attacks in Westbank as well as in Franschhoek in the Cape Winelands. A 7-year-old child was wounded in one of the shootings. Koskona Malingamnisi reports.
The first attack took place in Westbank, Mfuleni, on Saturday night, where police say 3 women and 1 man were shot and killed. The injured child was rushed to a medical facility for treatment. Western Cape police believe that the shooting may be gang-related. In a second incident in Franschhoek yesterday, 2 armed men allegedly stormed a house in Jacaranda Street and opened fire. 3 men were declared dead at the scene, while a woman and another man were wounded. Western Cape Police spokesperson Novela Potela.
Provincial Serious Violent Crime detectives have launched a manhunt for 2 gunmen believed to be behind a shooting incident that left 3 men dead, a woman and another man wounded on Sunday morning in Franschhoek.
Or see Kona Malingamnisi Eyewitness News.
And deliberations will start today in a trial involving tech billionaire Elon Musk against AI giant OpenAI and its CEO Sam Altman. OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT. Musk is accusing Altman of abandoning the company's founding mission, which was to be a non-profit organization. He argues that OpenAI's pivot to a profit-driven business betrayed its original mandate. Musk claims that the founders of OpenAI improperly used a $38 million donation that was intended to sustain OpenAI as a research lab devoted to developing AI for the benefit of humanity. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs of 20 degrees.
The traffic heading towards Sandton, there's slow-moving traffic on the M1 South from the Butlu interchange to Grayston Drive. Meanwhile, in Pretoria, anticipate slight delays on Eskempahlela Drive between the R80 and WF Nkomo Street.
The top story this hour, former Umzimkhulu local municipal manager Stanley Skhosana will today return in court in relation to the murder of Sindiso Makaqqa.
Weekend Breakfast with Googs Mshungu.
702 Weekend Breakfast is about switching gears after what's usually a very busy week. We keep you informed, we keep you on trend, what's happening, what's new, what's delicious, what's fascinating, and keep you company as you rest at the end of the week. What I love most about the 702 family and 702 land is we're this interesting motley crew of people, this diverse group of people from all over the country, all over the world, and we all come together and it makes for this interesting, fascinating family. And I don't think you can find a more diverse, interested, or more engaged listenership than people who are part of the 702 family and 702 land. And so they listen to us to be their guide to the weekend because they trust Weekend Breakfast.
702 Weekend Breakfast with Googs Mshungu from 6 to 10 a.m.
The world's best male and female paddle players are coming to South Africa for the historic Premier Paddle Pretoria P1 at Sunbet Arena, Times Square. This is from the 26th of July to the 2nd of August. You can expect world-class action, unbelievable energy, live entertainment, premium hospitality, incredible food, and an atmosphere unlike anything South African sport has seen before. This will be Africa's biggest paddle tournament ever, and tickets are selling fast. Don't miss your chance to witness the sport's biggest stars live in South Africa. Get your tickets now at primemediaplus.com.
Hi, South Africa. It's Carol Shabalala, your First Lady of Sport. If you appreciate world-class sport and a great occasion, the Hollywood Bets Durban July is worth your attention. The theme for 2026 is Country Allure, which sees the rustic style of the countryside meet the cosmopolitan cool of the city. On Saturday, 4 July, it all comes together at Hollywood Bets Greyville, Africa's greatest horse racing and social event. I'll see you there.
If you're a fan of the beautiful game, you'll recognize this. And this. But what about this? It's your chance to score big time. Win your share of up to 2 million rand with Standard Bank. It's game day every day. To enter, open and use any qualifying Standard Bank account, in-app or in branch. Already a Standard Bank customer? Sign up for Standard Bank Connect online to get a bonus entry. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning. Good morning. Scariso here. For Mr. Malemma, I think that the insult will really not be able to solve the issue. This is a public voice. That's a equally public outcry from people. So the most important thing, you can be able to constructively engage with these people, because insulting them, we measure in the same scale with the very same people, which they need guideline, they need guidance, and then than him expose himself off. That's equally poor leadership.
Hi, morning, Bongs and team. Mape from Rodipot. Malemma issue, he's not also providing the solution, as to say, if we put this into legislation, if we put this law into something, then something can be done with the illegals. Rather than just saying that these they are smoking something, when you ask them a question, they do this. Where's your solution? Tell us your solution.
Ooh, bongles. Malemma calling people illiterate when he sounds illiterate himself. I know this guy. No. Even when he has a valid point, because of how he talks, it flies out the window. It becomes irrelevant. Because this is a problem all over the world. Even Americans, they're building walls, they're doing this, they're doing that. Even in Europe.
Hey, Bongani, if Julius Malemma does not know of any laws that can be implemented to deal with the current illegal immigration issue, then Julius Malemma is the wrong leader of EFF. EFF, wake up.
Morning, Bongani. I understand you and Julius. You're trying to be nice. You're trying to be. I don't know if it's politically want to be politically correct or what. But these guys are illegal in our country. Which piece of legislature in our constitution allows illegal people to just come and settle in our country without documentation, without anything? Just okay, Julius must show us that then. Which piece of legislation allows anyone from anywhere to come and just pitch in and stay in our country illegally? Let him show us that first. It's going on in Mamelodi.
Yeah, but Greg, now, that's not what he said. There's no clip we've played where he says any of what you're suggesting. He is saying that there is a serious issue, it does need to be addressed, but some of the ways in which it is being addressed are a problem. Because he says ultimately, the thing that should matter most to all of us is the rule of law. So we have a problem. Many people are expressing frustrations at how it is being handled. But he's also arguing that marching up and down and doing and singing and dancing and carrying on isn't going to fix the problem. And he also says, when he has challenged the people who are upset about this issue and asked them to say, all right, I'm a lawmaker. What would you like me to do? And what he's trying to point out is that some of the people that are raising concerns about our society, as frustrating and as real as those feelings may be to them, doesn't suggest they've actually offered solutions. Very big difference.
EWN Sport.
I'm perhaps doing all of that to delay Cindy Paluta as much as I can, because I said either to you or to Anthony Teixeira that both Pirates and Arsenal are facing teams that on paper you would think they would defeat easily.
You said
but
it to
as
me.
we saw
Yes.
at Galaxy, you just on the day. It's football, as you've always said, sport is sport. And so I'm a nervous Nelly.
And I mean, rightfully so, because as you saw with Orlando Pirates on the weekend against the mighty Durban City, that huge Durban City team that has won so much, Orlando Pirates struggled. And so, of course, you would be nervous for tonight because Arsenal, the Premier League leaders, are up against Burnley. There's only 2 games left in the season for Arsenal and City. And the Gunners are 2 points ahead of City. So it's so exciting to have 2 leagues coming down to like the last 2. And it's even more exciting when the guy that you work with every morning supports Arsenal and Orlando Pirates. Makes my job so much fun now. At the other end, West Ham facing the reality of being relegated after losing to Newcastle 3-1. Hammers are 2 points behind Spurs. Sunderland beat Everton 3-1. Leeds beat Brighton 1-0. Wolves 1-0 with Fulham. Palace 2-0 with Brentford. Manchester United got a 3-2 win over Nottingham Forest. Bruno Fernandes now level with Henry and De Bruyne for a record 20 assists in one season. It was Casemiro's last home game. He retires this season.
I start with thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the players. Thank you, staff. But thank you, everyone. But the best thing in this club is you, fam. Is you, fam.
Mamelodi Sundowns beat AS FAR 1-0 in the first leg of the CAF Champions League final. Here's goal scorer Aubrey Modiba.
Finally, we scored before half time, and obviously helping my team to be 1-0 advantage. But I think we could have scored more goals. But we take the 1-0 into Morocco, and from training. I think it starts from training. We practice a lot, me and Debza. So glad it paid off.
Second leg is Sunday in Rabat. Orlando Pirates, not league champions yet. They have to beat Orbit College this weekend on Saturday. Pirates are 2 points behind Sundowns while Orbit are fighting to avoid relegation. In golf, Aaron Rai, the first Englishman in 107 years to win the PGA Championship. Rai shot a bogey-free final round 5 under 65 to finish a 9 under, 3 ahead of Ram and Smalley. McIlroy finished 5 off the pace. Scheffler was 7 off the pace. 3 South African teams in the United Rugby Championship quarterfinals to be played next week. The Lions have the tough task of travelling to Leinster. The Stormers and Bulls host Cardiff and Munster. While in tennis, Yannick Sinner beat Casper Ruud 6-4, 6-4 to be the first home winner at the Italian Open in 50 years. He's also the youngest to win all the ATP's top-ranked events. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
That's Liesel, before she got naked. Liesel checked her insurance premium and got angrier than the time a teenager called her Tunny. So Liesel got naked and got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Managing your workforce shouldn't be complicated. That's why businesses choose Onacy, a proudly South African cloud-based payroll and HR solution. From payroll and e-recruitment to performance management and self-service tools, we streamline the way businesses handle their people. Scalable, secure, and always online, our system evolves with your needs because your workforce deserves the best. Switch to Onacy and experience payroll and HR done right. Visit onacy.com today.
EWN Traffic.
16 to 9. Let's wrap up the morning's traffic. There have been some issues on the N3. Khumutso this morning, both Galiluis and, of course, approaching Modderfontein and Linksfield.
Yes, thank you, Bongs. In fact, traffic is starting to ease up now in most parts of the province, including that area, but there are still a few busy spots out there. In Edenvale, there's still some traffic pressure on the R24 West as you head towards the Kalulis interchange. And if you are heading towards Sandton, there's still some slow-moving traffic on the M1 South from the Batlu interchange to Grayston Drive. And in Randburg, traffic is also sluggish on the N1 North between Beyers Nadir and Winnie Mandela Drive. Look out for 40 traffic lights in Woodmead at Woodmead and Woodlands. In Fourways at Winnie Mandela and Monte Casino. And over in the capital city, traffic lights are out in Danville at Vormhagen and Trans Oranje Road. I'll have more updates at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
We asked rugby legend Francois Steyn what he thinks of the all-new Toyota BZ4X. France, would you say the BZ4X is a rugged all-wheel drive SUV?
Yeah.
Cool. Was the acceleration and handling good?
Yeah.
All right. So you think the BZ4X can handle South Africa? Well, there you have it. The all-new Toyota BZ4X, an all-wheel drive battery electric SUV made to handle South Africa. The BZ4X. It just got real.
We at Monument Dental are very happy with the premium we're paying. I wish I did it sooner.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium when you switch? For dentistries, general medical practices, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance business insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Illegal water connections have serious consequences for the city's water supply. When pipelines are tampered with, it damages infrastructure, reduces system pressure, and can leave entire communities without water. Johannesburg Water continues to remove illegal connections and strengthen monitoring across the network to protect supply. Residents are encouraged to report illegal connections or suspicious activity to the City of Johannesburg on 0800 002 587. Protect our water infrastructure. Protect our water supply. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water, a water and sanitation utility that cares.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show.
On 702.
Clement Manyatela out for the week. So I've got 3 Khumutzos in the studio. There's KG, Start the Clock, whose actual name is Khumutso. And then there's Khumutso Munyai, whom you've heard all morning telling us about our morning commutes.
And getting you there safely.
And getting you there safely and on time.
And on time.
New pointsman you.
Thank you.
And of course, the Clement Manyatela show for the week is going to be hosted by none other than Khumutso Modise.
What a name, eh? Khumutso.
Very original, very original. Your parents thought long and hard about this one. And they went and found rare sources. Very good morning
Bugs.
Listen, I am loving all your work on social media. Just really making things simpler for us in terms of making a lot of these court processes digestible in neatly packaged pieces. That's been absolutely fantastic. Today, of course, you've got the challenge of the long form of it.
Yeah, talking today. And we're going to be starting in the open line. And how are you doing, Bagajuju? Because that's what we're going to be talking about today.
I don't want to incriminate myself.
Oh, Baga.
I don't want to incriminate myself. I refuse to answer. I will not incriminate myself.
Shame. When we left on Friday, all you Pirates people, already speaking about being champions.
I will not incriminate myself.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. And I think the talker based on that really will be, have you ever preempted a win? And you were so ambitious and you were so certain that you were going to get something. And only to maybe almost fumble, because you haven't fumbled it yet.
I don't know if I like this Khumutso.
I think she can go now.
One can only like so many Khumutzos, right?
I was about to say.
I don't know if I like her now.
So that's on the open line. Shame. The pressure is getting, as they say, but the pressure is getting worse and worse.
Jong, I've got it on 2 fronts. There's Pirates, obviously, in the league. There's Arsenal and the Premier League. And there's Arsenal in the Champions League.
Sure.
Same scenario.
Yeah, so that's going to be our conversation in the open line, at least one of our conversations. We're also going to be speaking about Vusmuzi Cat Matala and that report.
Deal or no deal?
Yeah, the plea deal, right? The fact that IDAC is even considering striking a deal with Matala.
That means they don't have much.
Yeah, I mean, in the article, it says that the information that was given by Matala is new. And that, for me, it scares me a bit, because what exactly did IDAC have on all of them?
And also, how much can you trust him? He's fighting for his life, right?
Yep. So let's have that conversation in the open line as well. What do we make of that? And then I want to speak about the legal way forward in the Phala Phala saga.
Yeah.
Because, we know that he's going to be that's the president, Cyril Ramaphosa, taking the report on review. But according to Weekend Reports, he's taking it a step further, Bongani.
With an interdict.
With an interdict, right? And, interdicting the entire parliamentary process, of course, the court needs to consider whether there would be irreparable harm if the parliamentary process were to go ahead, right, while the reviews issues being heard. There's also issues around timelines. This is not necessarily a type of matter that would be on the urgent court roll, but it could be expedited in the courts, right? So we're going to speak to a legal analyst on that. What would that look like, interdicting the entire parliamentary process? And then in the final hour of the show, it is our Family Matters feature. We speak about tough love and if it really works. I know many of us like to believe it does, and we apply it as the final, resort because we've tried everything. But we need to be frank about whether tough love might be causing a deeper wedge or driving a deeper wedge between you and your loved one. That's the show this morning.
All right. Khumuza Mutise is in for Clement Manyatela between 9 and 12.
Being in construction has taught me that buying machinery doesn't come cheap. Loaders, excavators, graders, they're the heartbeat of the job site. Now, thanks to My Way Business Insurance, I save up to 20% on my insurance premiums every month. This saving helps keep my machines working and projects moving.
Switch to My Way Business Insurance and save up to 20% on your yellow metal machinery. Real businesses, real savings. Call us on 0860 646464 today for a quote. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. Standard rates and T's and C's apply.
The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is calling on you to walk with the people, for the people. Sunday, 26 July, Babize Bonke. And this year you can choose from 3 different inner city routes. The 5-kilometer Victoria Yards route takes you from Ellis Park through the inspirational Joburg Cricket Club into Victoria Yards and past the Troyville Hotel. You then finish off at Ellis Park. So whether you're taking on the 5, 8 or 15-kilometer routes, enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, hosted by the City of Johannesburg.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Before anything else, it's the smell that gets you, is it not? A chilly May in Johannesburg, but at least some good news. For coffee lovers, this is your moment. The Joburg Coffee Festival, brewing something unmissable. One of South Africa's biggest coffee events, taking over the Fourways Mall rooftop. This is the 29th to the 31st of May, 2026. It's going to bring together some of our finest specialty coffee roasters for 3 days of pure caffeine heaven. Rich aromas, bold flavors, live coffee tastings, hands-on workshops, interactive demos, and the latest brewing gear all in one place. I'm so pleased to tell you that we're joined by the director and co-founder of the Joburg Coffee Festival, Jason Zeman. Jason, a very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
How's it, Bongani? Thank you so much for having me.
One of the things that is indicative, I think, of the resilience of many South Africans is just how much coffee culture is growing in this country despite the tough economic times.
100%. I mean, coffee is one of the most traded commodities in the world, right? And it sits right up there behind gold and oil, for example. And South Africans are really catching on to what coffee is about, what better coffee is about. Just really getting into enjoying the coffee culture, coming and gathering with friends around and business colleagues around a good cup.
Yeah, and there's no better way to celebrate it, of course, than a speciality coffee festival. Tell me about what we can expect just in terms of the overall atmosphere of this Joburg Coffee Festival.
All right, so we're basically just gathering everyone in the South African coffee industry, the top roasters from around the country, from Cape Town and Durban and even Potch, Pretoria, Joburg. We're gathering all the top coffee roasters around into the Roasters Village, which is going to be super exciting. Those roasters are handpicked and they attend by invite only. So they are there serving up some of the best coffees available anywhere in the world. They are mostly deal directly, while they import the greens themselves, they roast themselves, different flavor profiles, different origins. That's the heart of the show. And then we supplement that by home brewing tools, coffee equipment, commercial machines. If you're in the market to start a coffee shop, we've got all that sort of stuff. We've got an education bar if you want to learn more about coffee. We've got a sample bar if you want to taste some of the coffees on the floor before going off to buy them. And then, of course, you can't have good coffee without some sweets and pastries and patisseries. So we've got a bit of that. We've got some food, We got some live music. I'd like to think we've ticked all the boxes, Bongani.
Now, are you targeting sort of your everyday coffee lovers, the casual drinker, or are you looking for the coffee connoisseur?
We'd like to think of this event 100% as an event that is open to everyone. So I know we're going to have that handful of coffee snobs that are going to arrive, knowing exactly what they want, what origin they're looking for, which roaster they're going to, how they want to brew that coffee. But it really is a gateway event to educate and introduce people to good coffee, to better coffee, and then teach them how to make better coffee at home. So everybody is welcome across the board. We've got something for absolutely everyone.
All right, just give me a sense of what I can expect as I walk through the gate. I mean, for example, I'm wondering, is this tailored more to an adult audience, or will it be family friendly? As I walk through the gates, what am I likely to encounter?
Okay, great. As you walk through the gates, you'll be walking into the entrance, and you'll be greeted by what we're hoping is going to be a very festive and bubbly and exciting atmosphere. To answer your question, we've got a kids activation area, a kids play area that Four Ways Mall are so kindly taken care of. So kids under 12 do get in for free. But you'll be greeted by the Roasters Village. You'll be greeted by some of the biggest brands in South African coffee that you will know as well, having stands there, from big franchises to the really, really good artisanal roaster who's roasting coffee in his garage in Pretoria. You'll be greeted by stands that are demoing and showcasing some of the best equipment available anywhere in the world. And we're going to have a food truck section. Even for later in the day, we've got a craft beer and wine bar. So there really is something for everyone. It's a family day out. Come and hang out with us. We've got some live music. So don't just drink your coffee, eat your croissant, and hit the road. There's going to be so much more to do.
And what's a must-have coffee implement, of the moment? What's the implement, I suppose, is the best word. What's the implement that's all rage at the moment?
Oh, all the rage at the moment. Bongani, I think if you're getting into coffee snob territory, then people are starting to talk more about the way the coffee is ground. So the grinders are actually at the forefront in a lot of circles at the moment. How am I getting this coffee from the bean form into my piece of equipment? And then from there, I mean, the sky's the limit. It's what do you like, right? Some people like a mocha pot. Some people like a pour over. Some people have a little espresso machine at home. I wouldn't say there's one particular way to do it. How long is a piece of string and how big is your budget, I suppose, is the question.
Gone are the days, though, when many of us thought chicory was coffee.
Well, I grew up in that household, right? I grew up in that household drinking. Yeah, exactly. Drinking all the chicory and all the brands but I mean, hey, it all got us to where we are today, right? You wouldn't have be drinking better coffee if we didn't start somewhere. So, but gone are those days in many circles.
It absolutely opened that door. All right, Jason Zeman is the director and co-founder of the Joburg Coffee Festival. It's on at the Four Ways Mall from the 29th to the 31st of May. Jason, are tickets still available, and where can people get them?
Absolutely. Tickets are available, and you can go and see what tickets are available at itickets.co.za. And you can buy a ticket for a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, or for a whole weekend pass. Totally up to you. Kids under 12 get in free. Next weekend, 29 to 31 May.
Jason Zeman, appreciate your time. Director and co-founder of the Joburg Coffee Festival.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Oh, Bongani, what are you doing to me? And then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Hey, not a trace of doubt in my mind. Hey, I'm in love. Now I'm a believer. Hey, I believe. Hey, oh, you sing with me. Believe. Taga. Believe. Taga. Believe. Taga. Believe. Oh, love Shrek.
You know what I love about 702 Land? I've always thought I was a little, like not fully there. Like there's a little bit of a loose spring. But a lot of 702 landers make me feel like I'm just normal. We've all got a little bit of cray-cray. More of it tomorrow morning, bright and early, for 702 breakfast. Right now, though, it's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. More details of the